Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Lord of the People. I awaken a talent every week. Chapter 41. Su Ming sorted out the resources in his hand, thinking about how to reward the soldiers. Call Bai Ling and let her collect a batch of substances, which may be useful for a while. Then the two went to the store. When Yu Xuanji saw Su Ming entering the store, he immediately glared at him. But that prank look is equally tempting. Sometimes, Su Ming wondered if Yu Xuanji was a human, or why would he have such a natural coquettish attitude. Cough. Bai Ling coughed and announced the existence of Own. She also came here yesterday after Su Ming left the store, looking for trouble. And she even thought of an excuse, that is, a few clothes Su Ming gave her. She deliberately took apart a few lines, and then found fault with the quality of the clothes. But Yu Xuanji was also resentful that Su Ming had taken 20 clothes away. In the end, Bai Ling asked for trouble with quality problems, and Yu Xuanji replied on the grounds that it was not a normal transaction. Bai Ling couldn't get anything cheap. Even in the end, she had to repair the clothes herself. After all, it was given by Su Ming, and she could not treasure it herself. In this way, the liangzi of the two of them became confused. What? I'm here to do business with the proprietress. The proprietress is not welcome. Su Ming is thick-skinned. Anyway, the cheap is already taken, can you still make me spit it out? When Yu Xuanji heard Su Ming's words, his face turned from anger to joy. She is a businessman, no matter when a businessman will never get along with his interests. I don't know what business the Lord wants to do. Did you figure it out and sell the dagger to me? Yu Xuanji had no heart for that horn dagger. You think too much, this matter may be negotiable in a few days, but not now. Su Ming refused directly. Not being polite to Yu Xuanji, he found a stool and sat down. You said before that you accept everything here, but do you accept wood and iron ore? What, you're selling these? Yu Xuanji was a little surprised. These are all the resources you need for your development now, do you want to sell them? You talk about the market first, and I'll decide whether to sell it or not. What is lacking now is mainly stone resources. If the price of wood and iron ore is right, Su Ming really intends to sell a batch. However, if the price is not enough, you can only sell some materials for making equipment. He didn't have much material in his hand, just the ones that exploded on the Dark Knight Spider King just now, the last time the Boulder Bull had all been used up. Other savage beasts are worthless. Okay, but both are very common. We usually charge 100, one for wood and 50, one for iron ore. Hearing this price, Su Ming frowned, obviously not satisfied with this price. 10,000 pieces of wood can be sold for 100 gold coins, which is obviously not worth it. No bargaining though. You give this thing an estimate. Su Ming took out a leg bone of the Shadow Spider King. Yu Xuanji was stunned when he saw this leg bone. Leaning closer and looking carefully, he suddenly took in a breath of cold air. Are you the Spider King leg bone? It's not that she hasn't seen the Shadow Spider King, and there are still such boosts in other places. But you know, this Shadow Spider King is a level 10 boost. Su Ming has this kind of material in his hand. Could it be that he killed the Shadow Spider King? But isn't the highest level of his territory only level 6? Yu Xuanji didn't go out today, not knowing that the soldiers had risen to level 7. Don't be surprised, it's like you haven't seen the world before, tell me the price. Su Ming looked at Yu Xuanji with disgust. You, a businessman who has traveled all over the world, put on this expression for me to fool the ghost. Obviously, he didn't think about Yu Xuanji in a good way, he just thought that this man had a lot of heart. Exposing this appearance may be to deceive people. There is a saying that goes well, beautiful women are the most deceiving. Yu Xuanji gave Su Ming an angry look. Although I don't know what Su Ming is thinking, I can still see a lot from his eyes. Sir, your leg bones are not ordinary. I am willing to pay 2,000. Su Ming stared at Yu Xuanji, and after a little thought, he set a price, 4,000 gold coins, I will sell it if I agree. 3,000, no more. 4,000, no less than a point. My lord, there is no such business as you. Yu Xuanji's face showed a look of embarrassment. This Spider King leg bone is not very rare outside. The market price is only 3,500. I have paid 3,000 a lot. You must let me earn a little bit. But Su Ming didn't believe her words. "Madam, you are not kind. The market price is 3,500, and you charge me 3,000, which seems reasonable, but who said that this thing must be sold in the market? Other new forces shouldn't have permission to unlock advanced materials in the store, right? You can sell this thing to the merchant stationed in the territory of other forces. It's not a problem to sell it for 5,000. Don't tell me you don't have this way. Level 10 boost materials are scarce in the early stage. In the absence of other sources, new forces can only obtain them from the store. As long as you use this material to create a piece of equipment, your strength will definitely increase a lot. Because there is no level restriction on the equipment created, a piece of equipment made from a 10th level material may have the 10th level strength. A 5th-6th level soldier holds a challenge that can be skipped directly. So for some people who are eager to develop, it is worth buying such a material. This kind of thing Su Ming himself also intends to give to the blacksmith to make equipment. However, he has 80, and taking out 50 is enough to arm 10 soldiers, and there is nothing wrong with selling the extra options. And you can also open the copy later and get it in the copy. Yu Xuanji hesitated, but did not refute Su Ming's words. "Sir, I don't have much to earn for this 1,000. Look, can you sell a few more? A Spider King has 8 feet, and 8 leg bones are bound to explode." So Yu Xuanji also wanted to charge a few more. 5. Su Ming opened a hand. He could have said sell 10, but that would reveal something. Selling 5, Yu Xuanji would only think he was stupid, but he would not be suspicious. "Okay, deal." Yu Xuanji readily agreed, and at the same time there was indeed something strange in the eyes of Su Ming. What can I do with only 3 leg bones left? But Su Ming doesn't care. After collecting 20,000 gold coins, Su Ming didn't stay any longer and left with Bai Ling. Yu Xuanji sent Su Ming out and saw the backs of the two leaving, and his heart blossomed with joy. She did plan to resell these materials as Su Ming said. In this way, you can earn 5,000, or even more. But now she doesn't dare to underestimate Su Ming anymore. This territory has brought her a lot of surprises in the past 2 days. First, the top quality beef brought by the soldiers, then the bull set and silver equipment that Su Ming brought out, and now the leg bones of the 10th level Boo's Spider King. It can be seen that the strength of the territory is tyrannical, and it is one step ahead all the way. It's a pity, I didn't ask if there were any skill books to sell, otherwise I would definitely make a lot of money. Yu Xuanji thought a little greedily. But after thinking about it, he couldn't help shaking his head. This lord is shrewd, and it is estimated that he also knows the preciousness of the skill book. How can it be sold? But it's not bad to be able to follow along with a wave of benefits. Thinking of the Spider King's leg bone, Yu Xuanji was filled with joy again. Besides, Su Ming, did he lose money by selling the Spider King bone for 4,000? Obviously not, 500 gold coins higher than the market price. There are only 5 in number, which is no pity. 20,000 gold coins, and now there are gold coins to reward soldiers. In the evening, Su Ming asked Huang San to summon all the soldiers to the Lord's mansion and start to distribute the rewards. Chen Dabing contributed greatly to the hunt for the Shadow Spider King this time, and he was rewarded with 5,000 gold coins and a bull rushing skill book. Everyone else will be rewarded with 1,000 gold coins, and at the same time, they will receive a material dropped by the Spider King, and go to the blacksmith to make the equipment themselves. The material for one person includes 10 spider webs, 2 fangs, 5 leg bones, and a spine. Worth nearly 100,000. But Su Ming didn't feel bad, because these were the soldiers who exchanged their lives for them. And it will be used on them in the end. It is better to give it to them now and let them use it to build the equipment themselves. After all, each soldier's needs may be different. Unified arrangement, these materials are not enough to make a suit. It is better to let them use it to build equipment to improve their strength, and then enter the dungeon to brush out the materials and then make a unified arrangement. Su Ming didn't feel bad, but Huang San's brows jumped. He tried to stop Su Ming several times, but was restrained by reason. This is to give out rewards. Su Ming has the right to make his own decisions. Once Huang San stepped forward to interject, it would be a taboo. Maybe Su Ming won't care about it afterwards, but the soldiers below will hate him. Huang San. Didn't you see the red-hot eyes of the soldiers? If their loyalty is still possible to increase, it is estimated that they will be filled directly now. Thank you soon. Huang San looked at the lost soldiers and reminded them aloud. Thank you, Lord, for the reward. I am willing to die for the Lord. 10 soldiers bowed down one after another. Let's all get up. I can say in advance that these things are for you to make equipment for you. If anyone dares to sell them, don't blame me for turning my face and not recognizing them. Su Ming said it casually, and his face was also very easygoing. But these words fell into the ears of the soldiers, but no one dared to be careless. Unanimously said yes. In fact, they also know that these materials are definitely not cheap. But they are soldiers, and they also understand the importance of strength, and they will not be so foolish as to sell them. Okay, Chen Dabing and Lao Huang stay, and the others step back. After distributing the materials, everyone led the way and dispersed. Prince, you have learned the skill book. Is there any problem with one person dealing with level 5 boosts? Su Ming looked at Chen Dabing and asked. No problem. Chen Dabing answered confidently. Okay, then you can go to the dungeon and get a set of equipment. Su Ming said, took out the dungeon generation order, and started the simple dungeon. A virtual portal opens. Chen Dabing picked up the spear and got in without hesitation. Sir, your reward is too precious. At this time, Huang San had the opportunity to remind Su Ming. He is not surprised about this dungeon, because the territorial boosts were killed. This is a prop that will inevitably explode. Is it valuable? I think it's okay. I'm useless to keep these things. Su Ming looked at Huang San and suddenly said, what? Do you want it too? I'll give you one too. There are 10 materials in total, because there are only 10 backs. There's just one left. I don't want it, it's useless for me to take it. Huang San quickly shook his head. He is in charge, and it is useless to get materials if he is not on the battlefield. Su Ming smiled and patted Huang San on the shoulder. Old Huang, you can't always care about these, just a little reward. But sir, you will raise them like this. This is just the first reward, and then you will get it. Diao, even if I don't give rewards later, can they still fight back? Su Ming went to the chair to sit down and took a sip of tea. Continued. Loyalty is full, and there is no possibility of decline, so they can be trusted, and treat them as their own. Since it's my own, then I can't treat you badly. And the follow-up will require them to enter the copy and contribute, otherwise I can't go. Huang San hurriedly said, this is definitely not possible. Then you go. Su Ming looked at Huang San with some playfulness. Huang San's face was embarrassed for a while. Su Ming didn't make things difficult, saying, to improve their strength is to improve the strength of the territory. Their level is still low now, and they need to hurry up to level up. Otherwise, after the territory is upgraded, other soldiers recruited are of a higher level than them, and they will be uncomfortable. Anyway, it's also the first group of people to follow me. How can I treat you badly? So I not only want to reward them, but also to reward them fiercely. Even other skill books are prepared for them. Do you understand now? Huang San nodded with some shame. Then why do you want to reward them with gold coins? It doesn't cost money to build equipment. Although Dazui is also loyal to the territory, he can't abuse him. The equipment he built before was voluntary, and I still want to make up for it. Cough. Huang San's face became even more embarrassed. He is a housekeeper. In his opinion, the members of the forces are all servants, so they only need to work hard and bear no complaints. But in Su Ming's eyes, these people are all subjects, the backbone of the territory. Depending on where you sit, you have a different perspective on things. And Su Ming has another purpose in doing so, that is, to make the economy start to circulate. Although there are not many people now, but with goblins joining in, it is not too small. Okay, let's not talk about it. Su Ming ended the topic and said, I'm leaving you here this time because I want to ask you something. Sir, please speak. Can I change professions after I reach level 10? For example, to mage, warrior or something. Career change. Why do you think so, my lord? You are a lord, and you don't need to go to the battlefield. Isn't this for safety reasons? I want to learn some skills, but skills seem to require specific occupations to learn. That's it, you don't need to change your profession, sir, you can learn any skills as a lord. As the lord all professions. That's it. Understood. Su Ming nodded, beaming with joy. It seems that when the territory is promoted to 5th level, after getting a little skill point, you can learn the Curse of Blood Exchange. After a while, Chen Dabbing came out of the copy. This time I encountered a boulder bull, and the materials and equipment dropped were the same as before. Very good. You take this material, it is a reward for you to complete the task. Thank you, sir. Chen Dabbing is not hypocritical. While Su Ming handed out rewards to the soldiers, Ichiro Okamoto in the Valley of the Sun was about to collapse. After 2 days of hard work, Ichiro Okamoto finally raised the ranks of the soldiers. Thinking that he could deal with the Iron Rat, he led the soldiers out of the canyon with their heads held high. Want to get that first hidden achievement that destroys other factions. After a tough battle, with more than half of the soldiers' casualties, they were lucky enough to destroy the Iron Rat herd. But when receiving the reward, Ichiro Okamoto suddenly discovered that the hidden achievement he was thinking of did not appear. Ding! Your soldiers kill a level 2 Iron Rat, get Rat Meat 5, get Iron Rat Teeth 10, get Iron Rat Skin 1, get Iron Rat Nails 18. Ding! Your soldiers kill a level 3 Iron Rat, get Rat Meat 10, get Iron Rat Teeth 10, get Iron Rat Skin 1, get Iron Rat Nails 18. Even until the end, there is no prompt to obtain the hidden achievement. Ichiro Okamoto was stunned. Why not? Is there something wrong with the virtual world? Or is this achievement no longer counted? No, it has always been there before. Ichiro Okamoto could never have imagined that this achievement he was thinking of had already been obtained, and he was also abandoned. In his impression, this is only the 3rd day, and no one should be bored to destroy other races. They are all developing with peace of mind, and they are all sprinting into the power rankings. Because he couldn't develop, he had to choose to eliminate this group of iron-eating rats. The current power ranking has dropped out of the top 30, and this hidden achievement is his only consolation. But now, the rats have been wiped out, and most of the soldiers have been damaged. But what about rewards? Where did the reward go? Just the rat meat, rat tooth, rat skin, rat nails. What can you do with it? Fishing. Ichiro Okamoto felt a chill in his heart, and the smile of joy of winning disappeared. Kneeling and sitting on the ground, it took a long time to realize the reality. Does it mean acceptance? Obviously not. Okamoto Ichiro directly drew his sword and pointed at the sky and roared, "Baga! Zinai, you thief god, you are dead." If you are unwilling to scold God, the world understands. But this trick may be nothing in the real world, but in this virtual world, God is not used to you. Boom! A muffled thunder sounded. Okamoto Ichiro shrank his head in fright. He threw away the long knife directly and crawls on the ground, more grandson than grandson. He kept saying, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Tiger 1 second, mouse the next. Bullying the soft and fearing the hard is most vividly expressed by Ichiro Okamoto. But will God appreciate it? I don't know, all I know is that there is a sound in Okamoto Ichiro's ear. Ding! You found a level 5 booster fire monitor lizard, please pay attention to support. Ichiro Okamoto immediately raised his head, looked around, and really saw a huge lizard covered in flames. Eyes widened, the fire monitor lizard turned around and saw Okamoto Ichiro and others. Ichiro Okamoto didn't even think about it, and ordered the remaining soldiers to step forward to stop him, while he himself ran away. Not even the beloved long sword, which has the spirit of a samurai, didn't even look at it. But the exhausted soldiers were able to resist level 5 boosts. In the end, all of them were killed, almost instantly. The salamander also started chasing Ichiro Okamoto, blocking the canyon again. Perhaps, in the days to come, Ichiro Okamoto can only fish on the cliffs on the other side of the canyon. There is another leisurely genius in this world. Speaking of leisure, of course John Thompson is, after all, there is no one available. He is still waiting for the recruitment time to refresh. His power also dropped to 19th, and will soon drop to 20. Perhaps, he is the most miserable SS level Lord Seal Awakener in history. The ground is all wood, and the resources are extremely uneven. And because of arrogance, extreme arrogance, always thinking of the first throne. In the end, it took a risk, and the members of the force suffered heavy casualties. But after paying such a high price, in the end, he lost his wife and lost his army. Got nothing. The throne of the first was taken away, and his power was almost exhausted. Now they can only survive and maintain the livelihood of the members of the force. For the past 2 days, he has been counting the stones to live, for no other reason, it is purely because the stones are the least and the easiest to count. Fake, bitcha, these are the words John Thompson used to say. But there is always a sense of weakness in saying these words, which gives it a comical feel. And every time he saw that the power value of the unknown force ranked first on the leaderboard continued to rise, he always felt that there was something on his body to climb again, which was extremely disgusting. But there is nothing to do but hope for the curse in a few days. As long as he succeeds in pulling this list off the altar, that is his victory. Han Shizhuang is not feeling well these days. Because he was too anxious to establish his territory, he built it on the edge of the oasis. And these days, there is a faint hint of a sandstorm in the desert. It is difficult for members of the faction to work in the deserted sand. But you have to eat every day, or you will lose loyalty. The loyalty brought by Han Shizhuang's seal of Lord is just a little bit, how many times is it enough? So he, the Lord, had to suffer and go out to find food in person. After all, it is unrealistic to rely on some soldiers with crooked melons and jujubes. But what about giving up on these people? That doesn't work either. After all, development requires population. How can no one develop? Those soldiers can mine, cut wood, and collect stone even if they can't go out to get resources. In order to develop, Han Shizhuang had to grit his teeth and persevere even if he tightened his belt. Moreover, he has always had a spiritual comfort method, that is, Su Ming, whose level of the Lord's seal is lower than his. Since the daddy is so miserable, Su Ming's is definitely not much better. When daddy develops, I must go to his power to plunder, so that I can quickly improve my strength. Ha ha ha, Su Ming, wait, all your efforts now are making me a wedding dress. Every time he thinks of this, Han Shizhuang is full of energy. Moreover, he still has no heart for Ku Wanru, thinking that as long as he defeats Su Ming in this virtual world, he will definitely get Ku Wanru's heart. These are the motivations that keep him going. After a busy day, Su Ming is rarely full of energy. After dinner, I chatted with Ku Wanru for a while, and then fell asleep. Another day passed. In the morning, Su Ming got up early and didn't need Bai Ling to shout. Go out for a run as soon as you wake up and come back on time in half an hour. Sir, why are you so diligent today? Bai Ling asked Su Ming with a curious expression on the clothes he brought for Su Ming. She had a fresh memory of what happened yesterday morning. It's nothing, I just want to move, or the bones will rust. Su Ming responded, took the clothes and entered the room. Sir, which? Bai Ling suddenly stopped Su Ming, her cheeks flying. Huh, what's wrong? Is there anything else? Why do you want Bai Ling? Bai Ling said while gesturing to look into the room. Su Ming understood immediately. No, go and prepare breakfast. Su Ming shook his head, he didn't have the habit of having people wait for a bath. After saying that, he closed the door ruthlessly. Bai Spiritual Chi stomped his feet angrily, then left. After breakfast, Su Ming took Dapeng to inspect the goblin family. This time it was a real tour. There are 632 goblins from the goblin family, including 318 young and strong male goblins, 136 female goblins, and 178 old goblins. As for why the old goblins and female goblins were brought in, Huang San had already explained to Su Ming before. The goblin people have encountered some changes and are very vigilant to the human race. Divide the clan into 2 factions, one of which lives in seclusion, which is regarded as preserving the bloodline. Another faction came to serve the farming tribe in exchange for the safety of the reclusive tribe of that faction. Su Ming is not interested in their past and these actions. As long as these goblins can truly help him, it doesn't matter how many mouths he has. And women goblins and old goblins aren't completely useless either. Female goblins can also help collect resources, or do chores under the alchemist Moshe and others. Older goblins can help sweep the streets, walk around to pick some fruit or something. Anyway, there is no danger on the island now, and the beasts are all their own. The goblins are happy with that, too. For them now, as long as it is not abuse, it is equivalent to a great kindness. Took a lap, no problems, everything works fine. And with wild beasts as mounts, the goblins can also run farther to find mineral veins. Came to an open space, where 10 soldiers practiced independently. They didn't go out because Su Ming told them last night that there were other arrangements for today. See Lord. Seeing Su Ming's arrival, the 10 people all gathered up, bowed and saluted, and their movements were uniform. How was your rest last night? Master, we are all well rested and in full condition. Very good, there are no wild beasts on this island. From today, you can go hunting for sea beasts in the sea. The creatures on the island may be because of the last lord, and there are few wild beasts above level 5, but the sea is different. Moreover, the sea area 400 meters away from Shuiyu Island now belongs to Su Ming's territory, and the soldiers' attributes in the sea are still doubled. With only the strength of level 7, coupled with the constraints of the upper limit of the territory, these 10 soldiers can completely push everything horizontally. Even if they encounter a herd of sea beasts in the sea, they are also capable of retreating. Su Ming said and added, but remember, you must come back 3 hours before the evening, and make sure you can adjust to the best condition. Because you will encounter the same level 10 territory boost as yesterday, do you understand? The soldiers responded in unison, understood. Su Ming nodded with satisfaction and waved to one person, okay, Sun Dabao, come here. What are your orders, Lord? Put this suit on, and when facing the enemy, remember to cooperate with Chen Dabing to fight the main force. Su Ming took out the giant rock bull set that broke out last night and handed it directly to Sun Dabao. Among the 9 people, Sun Dabao and Chen Dabing are the most similar in experience, and they must be the first to rise to the 8th level. As for the others, after their equipment is built, they may not look down on this level 5 suit. Go on, have a nice ride. Su Ming waved to everyone. Chen Dabing took the lead in salute and retired. Now, there is a faint trend of being led by Chen Dabing. On the way back to the territory, Su Ming met Huang San, who was in a hurry to get something. I've seen adults. Don't be too polite. What's the matter, in such a hurry? It's nothing. It's just that after the number of members of this force, there are some things that need to be sorted out. I forgot the information in the room. That's fine, I won't delay you, just go. Yes, my lord. Huang San said and left, but after taking 2 steps, he suddenly turned back. What's wrong? Seeing Huang San coming back, Su Ming was also puzzled. My lord, now that there are more members of the force, is it time to consider legal issues? There is also that position, which has to be regulated. Huang San took this opportunity to talk about the problem of the territory. Now it's mainly the goblins who work, and the 10 farmers and fishermen before are all guiding and supervising, which is equivalent to lower-level management. To improve their work efficiency, it should be planned well, otherwise some people always don't know what to do. After listening to Huang San's words, Su Ming smiled. At first he thought it was something, but it turned out to be this problem. Old Huang, you're just too impatient, it's only been a few days. Start the hierarchy now, and it is inevitable that they will have the heart to fight. But there are some people who are only suitable for being farmers and fishermen, and they don't know anything about managing them. So, we'll have to wait until the next recruitment, when special talents may be recruited. And it is also possible to better observe other people's abilities during this time, and choose the best at that time. Wouldn't it be better for each person to perform their duties? Su Ming patiently responded to Huang San. Huang San is not an elm head either, and he understands Su Ming's plan simply by thinking about it. Since the Lord already has an idea, then I won't talk anymore, I'll go down and get busy. Wait, now that this matter has been brought up, then you can set up a draft and give it to me before the next recruitment. By the way, I will trouble you to record the behavior of other people. There will be a reference standard at that time. Old Huang understands. Huang San nodded in response. These are all things he is good at, and they are not troublesome. Soon it was evening again, and 10 soldiers came to the Lord's mansion to gather. Su Ming gave them all the skill books he had obtained by hunting the giant boulder bulls twice, and then opened the hard-level dungeon. But this time, at Bai Ling's request, she also went in. Bai Ling has a healing skill, which can help soldiers recover greatly, and can also heal injuries. Healing skills may be very common, but to say that it is a healing skill of SSS level quality, it is rare to hear it in 100 years. And Bai Ling also promised to protect himself, so Su-ming had nothing to say. After they entered the dungeon, Su-ming successfully upgraded the main city to level 5. Ding! The main city has been upgraded successfully. This upgrade consumes stone 100,000, wood 15,000, iron ore 8,000, refined iron 500. Ding! Congratulations to player Su-ming for successfully upgrading the main city to the 4th level, the power value plus 2,000, and the upper limit of the territorial building level. Ding! Territory fortifications unlocked. You can build defensive towers, turrets, and watchtowers. Ding! Player Su-ming's level has been raised to level 5, and his attributes have been improved. Ding! The territory has been expanded to 500 meters outside of Shuiyu Island. Resources required for the next upgrade: stone 150,000, wood 30,000, iron ore 20,000, fine iron 2,000, magic crystal 100. At this time, Huang San dialed to communicate, saying that the forge had successfully upgraded to level 5. Because of the bonus of destiny talent, when the main city is level 4, the forge can be upgraded to level 5. I've only been upgraded to level 5 because everyone is too busy today, and all kinds of affairs are being dealt with. But it's not too slow now. Su-ming came to the forge, and Huang San, Moshe, Irene, and Li Dazui were all waiting here. Obviously all waiting to meet the new members for the first time. Ding! Your forge has been promoted to 5th level, current recruitment times, 1. Whether to recruit or not. Recruit. Came here to recruit. Of course Su-ming would not hesitate. However, the number of people recruited this time is somewhat different from the previous one, with a total of 10 people. They were a tailor, 2 carpenters, an alchemist, 2 blacksmiths, 3 bricklayers, and a draftsman. Without exception, all belong to the master. So far, the territory has 2 draftsmen, 2 alchemists, 3 blacksmiths, 4 bricklayers, 2 carpenters, 1 tailor, and 1 miner. Seeing this configuration, Su-ming is very satisfied. Bring the blueprints given by Lu Rear Admiral to the draftsmen, and let them cooperate with the bricklayers and blacksmiths to build the fortifications such as the walls, defense towers, and artillery towers. As for the observatory, Huang San suggested that he should not be in a hurry for the time being. After all, once the observatory is built, although it is possible to check the situation in distant places, it is also easy to be detected by other forces. After everything was arranged, Su-ming returned to the Lord's mansion. As for the residence of the new members, he does not need to worry about it at all. Huang Sanwei will arrange it properly. 2 hours after the copy was opened, Su-ming received a prompt tone. Ding! Your soldier Chen Dabbing participated in killing the snow silver white tiger, successfully upgraded, the current level is 9, the attributes have been improved. Ding! Your soldier Sun Dabao participated in killing the snow silver white tiger, successfully upgraded, the current level is 9, the attributes have been improved. Ding! Your soldier Khan Dashan participated in killing the snow silver white tiger, successfully upgraded, the current level is 8, and the attributes have been improved. Today, the soldiers hunted and killed many sea beasts, some of which were above level 5. Chen Dabbing and Sun Dabao both managed to reach level 8 at that time. Now hunting down the level 10 Boo's snow silver white tiger, the 2 of them rose to level 9 without any accident. Others are almost all on the verge of reaching level 9, and they can level up with only a small amount of experience. There is always an experience bonus for leapfrog challenges. Maybe they can all reach level 10 with just 2 more attempts. After killing the booster, the reward is of course indispensable. Ding! For killing Snow Silver White Tiger, congratulations for getting Snow Silver Armor 1, Snow Silver Helmet 1, Snow Silver Gauntlets 2, Snow Silver Leggings 2, Snow Silver Boots 2, Snow Silver Greatsword 1. Another set of Snow Silver suits. But look at this introduction, this is a set of Ape warriors. Ding! For killing Snow Silver White Tiger, congratulations on getting the Best Tiger Meat 100, Best Tiger Bone 20, White Tiger Skin 1, White Tiger Eyes 2, White Tiger Claws 4, Magic Crystal 500. Destiny Talent Feature 2 is activated, resources plus 1000%, congratulations on getting the Best Tiger Meat 1000, the Best Tiger Bone 200, White Tiger Skin 10, White Tiger Eye 20, White Tiger Claw 40, Magic Crystal 5000. Destiny Talent Feature 2 is activated, explosion rate plus 1000%, congratulations on obtaining the Warrior Skill Book, Roar 1, Heavy/1, Bloodthirsty Sweep 1, Beastmaster I 1. Destiny Talent Feature 2 is activated, Explosion Rate plus 1000%, congratulations on getting a rare item, Tiger's Tail Golden Whip. Ding! Obtained Quest Exclusive Item, Finding the Traces of the Four Holy Beasts White Tiger, Fragment *1. Su Ming hadn't figured out what this rare item was used for, and suddenly saw a mission exclusive item. What is this? Su Ming looked at a piece in his hand that was straight on both sides, but irregular on the other sides. On one side of the fragment, there is a text describing the information about the four holy beasts, the white tiger. On the other side are some textured lines that look like part of a map. After watching for a while, Su Ming shook his head with a wry smile. Four sacred beasts, this thing is not something I can touch right now, so let's keep it for now, maybe there is a chance to find it later. Then Su Ming picked up another golden whip. Tiger Tail Golden Whip. The tiger is the king of beasts, and the golden whip made of tiger tail also has the effect of deterring beasts. With the golden whip in hand, no wild beast dares to be hostile to you. Using the golden whip to punish the wild beast will not increase the hatred value. You, trash. Su Ming looked at the introduction and immediately wanted to throw it away. Is this thing worth it? Given the current situation, which savage beast would dare to provoke him? Su Ming? And he didn't plan to leave the territory, not at all. But in the end, he held back and thought of Ku Wanru. Maybe you can give her this thing, and it will be more convenient for her to move around on Shueyu Island in the future. Put away the tiger tail golden whip. Then it was another reward for the soldiers, and some materials from the snow silver white tiger explosion were taken out and given to them, or let them use it to make equipment. With these materials, it is estimated that they can come out with one set of equipment. As for the gold coins needed to build the equipment, Su Ming himself didn't have much, so he used top-quality tiger meat instead, allowing them to take some and sell them. After rewarding the soldiers, let them retire. After all, they will go to sea again tomorrow. Bai Ling, the soldiers were not injured this time. I think it's your credit. Do you have any rewards you want? I'm already satisfied to be able to help the adults, and I don't dare to ask for rewards. Don't dare, that's what you want. Come on, don't be polite to me, but don't mention it, I don't have everything. Bai Ling is not a soldier, and does not need rewards such as equipment, skill books, and money. Su Ming really didn't know what to give her for a while. Then I'm welcome. I want 2 tiger skins. No, give it. Su Ming gave the past 2 without hesitation. He asked casually, what are you doing with this white tiger skin? Can you not answer? Bai Ling held the tiger skin and asked with a pure face. Ah, don't answer if you don't answer. Su Ming waved his hand and said, go and clean up, then rest. I'll be busy again tomorrow. He yawned and walked towards the bedroom. Yu Xuanji was also in a good mood today. Not only did he sell the Spider King's leg bones, he also received some top-quality tiger meat. Reselling Spider King's leg bones made her 6,000 gold coins, 1,000 more than expected. The one who bought this material was a force called the Kingdom of Dragons. Zhang Susu has also developed more smoothly in the past 2 days, and everything has been on the right track. When the red moon was hanging in the air, just enough stone resources were collected to successfully upgrade the main city to level 4. I thought that the gap between the power and the rankings would be narrowed a little, but I didn't expect that the gap was getting bigger and bigger. Where the hell is this sacred? Looking at the unknown force ranked first on the leaderboard, Zhang Susu frowned more than once. This person is obviously her strongest competitor in the future. As long as this progress can be maintained, it is destined to be the top few in a month. Zhang Susu has also started hunting wild beasts in the past 2 days. With the help of the Ice Dragon, it is very easy to hunt wild beasts. Ice Dragon's growth potential is very high, and the first level attribute bonus per leader is also very scary. But perhaps because of the too many attribute bonuses, it requires a large amount of experience per first level. Now they are only level 4, the same level as the soldiers. Today, members of Zhang Susu's forces discovered a wandering level 5 boost. It stands to reason that a level 4 Ice Dragon can also deal with a level 5 boost, but Zhang Susu still feels unsafe. So I plan to arm the soldiers, and then go hunting for level 5 booze. At this time, I happened to see the information about the rare material in the store, so I bought it for 30,000 gold coins. And handed it over to the blacksmith in the territory, let him build the weapon. Her purpose has always been clear. In the early stage, we will fully develop the territory, develop resources, and build the territory. Now, build the armed forces of the territory, start to expand outwards, and recruit local forces at the same time. At the same time, she also planned the follow-up things. After 2 days, upgrade the main city to level 5, and then wait for the recruitment to refresh to get new members. Then start training with all your strength, and kill the territory boos within 10 days of entering this world. In another 10 days, upgrade the territory to the 10th level and transfer the profession. In the last 10 days, in addition to training troops, construction of fortifications began at the same time. She got a lot of blueprint resources, although it can be used after the 5th level territory. But the draftsmen and bricklayers she recruited were only ordinary and elite, and it was difficult to complete the construction of the fortifications according to the requirements of those drawings. So she has to wait. After the 10th level of the territory, the highest quality of the special people recruited will be improved. At that time, the minimum she recruited would be at the elite level. In this way, the blueprints can be better used, and the strength of the territory can also be enhanced to the greatest extent. At 6 in the morning, the red sun rises on time. Su Ming, like yesterday, got up early to wash up and go out for a run. On the road, I met some goblins who got up early, and the goblins looked at Su Ming in fear. However, they had a good life these 2 days. They had food to eat, a house to live in, and enough rest. So I'm not too afraid of Su Ming. Su Ming didn't pay much attention to these goblins, and ran his own pace, which was irrelevant. The relationship between these goblins and farming tribes is more of an employment relationship. With contract constraints, loyalty will not increase or decrease, and it will be stable at 60. However, after the run, Su Ming came back but did not see Bai Ling, and was a little puzzled. I picked up my clothes and went into the room to take a shower. Halfway through the wash, Bai Ling suddenly pushed the door open, looking hurried. As soon as he came in, he kept bowing his head and saying sorry. Bai Ling, what happened to you today? Did something happen? Su Ming sat in the tub without revealing anything, and asked calmly. Bai Ling always wakes up early, but today is very strange. It seems that he has just woken up not long ago. Big, my lord, I overslept. It's fine. Did you get too tired to enter the dungeon last night? No, I just overslept. Bai Ling looked up at Su Ming and then quickly lowered his head, shaking his head with a blushing face. Are you still sleepy? Not sleepy anymore. Then go and prepare breakfast. Yes, my lord. Saying that, Bai Ling hurriedly exited the room. Wait a moment. At this moment, Su Ming suddenly shouted. Bai Ling suddenly stopped, and many blushing thoughts popped up in his head. Big, sire, do you have any orders? Bai Ling turned his head and looked into the house with a flushed face. A look of surprise appeared in Su Ming's eyes. Why is this girl's face so red? Without thinking much, he said lightly, bring the door. Ah, Bai Ling's face froze instantly. I said close the door. I can't let you, my lord, just wash it like this. In fact, there are only 3 people in the lord's mansion, Su Ming, Bai Ling and Huang San. It doesn't matter if the door is closed or not. It's just a mental reason. It's better to take a bath in the tub than outside, and it always feels weird to not close the door. Oh. Bai Ling hurriedly closed the door. At this time, it was even more red to the root of the ear. Gently slapped himself twice, scolding him for nothing. Then hurried to prepare breakfast. After breakfast, Su Ming walked out of the lord's mansion and looked at the bustling street, in a good mood. This is the 5th day of coming to this world, and I don't know if I can raise the main city to level 10 in 7 days. Then Su Ming went to call Dapeng again. Continued to repeat yesterday's process. Soon, at noon, Su Ming took a look at the resources. When I upgraded the main city yesterday, there were still extra resources that were useless, and now it is just enough to upgrade the main city to 6th level. Now the main thing is to upgrade the main city, and the other buildings will not be moved for the time being. It is enough to upgrade to the 5th level. Ding! The main city has been upgraded successfully. This upgrade consumes 150,000 stone, 150,000, wood 30,000, iron ore 20,000, fine iron 2,000, magic crystal 100. Ding! Congratulations to player Su Ming for successfully upgrading the main city to 6th level, the power value plus 2500, and the upper limit of the territorial building level. Ding! Player Su Ming's level has been raised to level 6, and his attributes have been improved. Ding! The territory has been expanded to 600 meters outside of Shuiyu Island. Resources required for the next upgrade: stone 200,000, wood 50,000, iron ore 50,000, fine iron 10,000, magic crystal 500. Seeing that the next first level upgrade requires resources, Su Ming was taken aback. The resources of stone materials actually only increased by 50,000, while the wood and iron ore began to soar, and the refined iron also began to rise sharply. Is this because the level is high, and the main city does not need to be expanded? Look at this material. The next upgrade, my lord's mansion should have a bit of metal heaviness. Seeing that there is not much demand for stone materials, Su Ming is also a bit relieved. He was really afraid that the demand for stone materials would remain high, and the latter demand would be an astronomical figure. But now it seems to be quite common sense. In this way, he is also confident that he can advance to the first level tonight, but this may require the goblins to work harder. So, Su Ming deliberately took advantage of this mealtime to summon the goblins to make a mission notice. I hope you can work a little later today and work a few more hours. The specific time is still uncertain. I will set a collection task for you. When the conditions set by me are met, you can naturally work casually. I promise you that I will work part-time at 10 o'clock, and it will not delay everyone's rest time. Of course, I also promise that this is only for today, and I will compensate you. However, whether it's an hour late for casual work, or 2 hours late, I will only compensate for 3 gold coins. If you can complete the task before 6 o'clock, I can also add 2 extra gold coins as a reward. One more thing to state in advance, that is, don't think that this time you are late to work, you can procrastinate at work, thinking that this will pass the time. I tell you now, this kind of thinking is very wrong. If you want to get the same gold coins in less time, you should work harder so that you can rest earlier. In this matter, I will make your patriarch responsible in the future. I believe he is enough for you to trust. Nadaru also stood up at this time. My lord, this is not in line with the rules. We agreed in the contract before. Not to mention other compensations, Nadaru always had a bad feeling in his heart when he heard Su Ming's words. I thought this might be a prelude to Su Ming's exploitation, so I refused without thinking. With only Su Ming's guarantee, 70% of his heart was skeptical. Oh, I don't remember that I said that I can't delay casual work hours. Does the contract say it? Su Ming looked directly at Nadalu with questioning in his eyes. Nadalu was at a loss for words. The previous contract conditions were only those 3, and Su Ming also said that he would not delay the rest time, and he would definitely work part-time at 10 o'clock. This made Nadalu unable to find an excuse to refuse at the moment. The most important thing is that as long as they avoid the contract, they have no ability to resist. What, do you have any other comments? Su Ming looked at Nadalu and asked. Nadaru's heart suddenly trembled when he met Su Ming's gaze. The stability of these 2 days gave him the idea of, this lord is a good person. But now, that idea fell apart in an instant. It turns out that this lord is not a good person, but he was confusing them 2 days ago. After this incident today, the days to come will only get more and more difficult. This is what Nadalu was thinking at this time. But Su Ming didn't have the ability to read minds, and didn't mean to pay attention to his inner thoughts. He was still looking at him. No opinion. Nadalu had to respond. Letting him handle this matter may already be the biggest condition Su Ming has released. If he wants to ask for more, then this condition may be gone. Okay, then it's decided. You go to rest first, and then prepare to start work. After saying that, Su Ming came to Nadalu and threw him a panel. The upper limit requirements for resources such as 200,000 stone and 50,000 wood are set above, which is neither too much nor too little, just what is needed to upgrade the 7th level. Seeing this condition, Nadaru breathed a sigh of relief, and this task could still be accomplished. then led the goblins to retreat. It's night time, 7 o'clock. Su Ming is counting the materials that the soldiers brushed out. This time I met the Shadow Spider King again, but I did not encounter the Nether Shadow Panther. And 10 people also successfully upgraded to level 10. At the same time, because there are 2 more blacksmiths in the territory, their equipment has been obtained. Now the data is not inferior to the usual level 10 boosts. Of course, this is the situation in the territory. The goblins also reported the completion of the task at this time. Su Ming successfully upgraded the main city to level 7. Ding! The main city has been successfully upgraded. This upgrade consumes 200,000 stone materials, 50,000 wood, 50,000 iron ore, 10,000 refined iron, and 500 magic crystals. Ding! Congratulations to player Su Ming for successfully upgrading the main city to the 7th level, the power value plus 3000, and the upper limit of the territorial building level. Ding! Player Su Ming's level has been raised to level 7, and his attributes have been improved. Ding! The territory has been expanded to 700 meters outside of Shuiyu Island. Resources required for the next upgrade: stone 250,000, wood 80,000, iron ore 100,000, fine iron 20,000, magic crystal 2,000. The main city is as Su Ming thought. It really has a lot of metal feeling, it looks cold, and it is exquisite and gorgeous. 6th day into this world. Today, Su Ming didn't go out, lying on the bed while chatting with Ku Wanru, while reading some materials sent by Huang San. It was all performed by the recording staff, and Su Ming looked at it casually. He also really has nothing to do, everything is already on the right track. The soldiers went out to sea to hunt sea beasts as usual, and Huang San went to organize and manage the people. After receiving the gold coins last night, the goblins got up earlier than usual this morning and went out to work again. Nadalu also completely changed his impression of Su Ming. I originally thought that today would be another leisurely and happy day, but I didn't expect it to backfire. Someone came to report that they saw a suspected ghost race in the big forest across the sea. The figure is blurry and small, and it can float in the air. Su Ming was curious, and quickly asked an alchemist and a blacksmith to build a set of telescopes. Then I stayed there all afternoon to observe, and in the end I didn't find any farts. Leaving cursingly, but not long after he left, another figure appeared in the big forest across the sea, confirming that the person who came to report did not lie. Gear Great Forest is between Shuiyu Island and Moon Valley. It is precisely because of its existence that the word, Mochizuki, in Mochizuki Valley has become meaningful. And the black elves who broke away from the elves 30 years ago are now living in the Gore Forest. In this world, there is no difference in appearance between black elves and white elves except for the difference in skin color. Their long pointed ears are their hallmarks, and they look very delicate for both men and women. Among the black elves, the females are bold in dress and enchanting, the males are bare-chested and strong. There are 4 black wings on the back, as thin as a cicada's wings. When flying in the air, it is as light as a fallen leaf, and every move seems to dance in the wind. In the past, the way to distinguish black and white sprites was to look at skin color. But now, the way to distinguish black and white elves is to look at magical properties. The reason is that in this forest of Gore, the queen of the black elves, Angustia, is a fair-skinned elf. She was originally a white elf, but because of the incomparable Grandmaster Dark Magic, she was rejected by the white elf family. White elves have been discriminating against black elves for a long time, but Tia, who is the queen of white elves, little sister, has no such prejudice. So the black elves are very supportive of her. So, after being rejected, Angustia decisively took the black elves and rebelled out of the elves of the Donglan continent, and then went to the Gore Forest to live in seclusion. At this point, the way Donglan continent differentiates between black and white elves has changed. Isigite Sophie is the strongest among the black elves except for the queen, a level 35 elf warrior. It is precisely because of her strength, coupled with the queen's supreme status, that the black elves are in a situation where women are strong and men are weak. Sophie, who was wearing armor on the upper body and a battle dress on the lower body, fluttered her wings and flew to the big tree in the center of the Gore Forest. The diameter of the tree is more than 100 meters, the crown is towering, and the branches and leaves are lush. This is a tree palace. Sophie's armor seems to only focus on covering the vital parts, and it is full of enchantment between actions. But the male elves guarding outside the tree palace lowered their heads and dared not take a second glance. When they came to the outside of the tree palace, the guards went in and informed, and Sophie entered the tree palace. There are many colored spar in the tree palace. The sun shines through the tree hole window and falls on the spar, reflecting the gorgeous and colorful inside the tree palace. In the center, a lazy figure was lying on a large chair, covered with gauze around the chair. See Her Majesty Queen for the humble post. Sophie got down on one knee and bowed her head. Fifi, you're back. The figure on the chair sat up on the side, and the voice was clear and pleasant, without the majesty of the superior. It's like an ordinary big sister next door. Yes, I have observed the anomaly on Shueyu Island. Sophie's words clearly showed that she was the one who appeared across from Shueyu Island before. If you let her know that she is regarded as a ghost, I don't know if she will be half dead. Tell me. Then there was a new force on Shueyu Island, and it appeared 4 to 5 days ago. After that, I didn't know what method was used to domesticate the beasts on the island, and 2 days ago, the Goblin clan was recruited, and now it has been developed into a 7th level force. 7th level power. Tia's voice was a little surprised. It will take 5 days to develop to the 7th level. It seems that this person is very powerful. I am a little curious. My lady queen, this person is a foreign race. When Sophie heard Tia's words of curiosity, she suddenly opened her mouth to remind her. Oh, I know, I haven't seen this before. Even if the ethnic group was invaded by foreign races in the past, hasn't it been eliminated later? It's not that you still hold grudges now, do you? Besides, it's not the same force, aren't you curious? Maybe the lord of this new force is a very interesting person. Tia said, and walked out of the gauze curtain. Wearing a loose long dress with a black bottom and red edges, her hair was naturally loose. The 3 pairs of wings flapped behind him, his feet lightly tapped, and he came to Sophie in one step. Pebble-like round face, delicate and fair skin, tall and concave. It is really fat where the fat should be, and thin where the thin should be, without the slightest lack or excess. Barefooted in front of Sophie, she squatted down, raised her jade hand, and stretched out a finger to lift Sophie's chin. There was a bit of mischief and evil in the smile on his face. Have you tried it? Can you go to that place? Go back to the Lord, I have tried the humble post. It seems that there is a defensive circle covering the place, and the humble post can't get in. After Sophie raised her head, she could no longer hide the fascination with Tia in her eyes. Oh, you can't even get in. It seems that this magic circle is very strong. Do you know what type of magic circle it is? The low-ranking guess is the Blinging Luotian Great Array. Binding Spirit Luotian Great Array, a name given by the local forces to the protective cover on the periphery of the new forces. Because the protective shield is very similar to the effect of the Blinging Luotian Great Array, it has the ability to limit the level. As long as the strength exceeds the upper limit of the level, it will naturally be rejected by the big formation. What is the limit? Grade 10. That would be interesting. Sir, you can't go there just because you want to have fun. Your safety is the top priority. Don't worry, how could I be out of proportion? Besides, it's so possible that elves can do things like suppressing levels. A sly look flashed in Tia's eyes, she turned back to the gauze curtain, and said very playfully. He said so, but no one knew what he was thinking. Moreover, Tia is also a genius of dark magic that is rare in 100 years. It took only 10 years to learn all the dark attribute magic in the clan. No elves know how strong her strength is now. It's still 3rd level, what should I do? It's a pity that Su Ming didn't see the ghost in the afternoon, after all, he never had the chance to see it in the real world. But soon he began to worry about the resources needed to upgrade the territory, forgetting about the ghosts. Yesterday's situation has shown that the stone resources collected by the goblins every day are only 200,000, and other resources are also around 50,000. Now Su Ming is not short of wood or iron ore, but only stone. But it is obviously not easy to get enough upgraded stones within a week. Su Ming sighed. Oh, if only there was a place to buy this stone. Su Ming seemed to wake up instantly. Yes, you can go to the store and have a look. Now that you have risen so many levels, maybe there are basic resources for sale. Thinking about it, Su Ming put on his clothes and shoes and went out. Came to the store and asked straight to the point. Yu Xuanji smiled casually. Yes. That's great, give me 1,000,000 stone. Su Ming was overjoyed when he heard this, with an eager look on his face. Millions of stones, according to the previous price of wood and iron ore, would not cost much. Su Ming had a good idea, but unfortunately Rui's scepter made a mistake. Don't worry, sir, you haven't asked the price yet. What's the price of stone? It's more than wood. Don't try to fool me. Su Ming looked at Yu Xuanji warily. Yu Xuanji did not show any signs of timidity. Sir, buying resources is not the same as selling resources. We collect resources, but there is no shortage of resources, so the price is naturally very low. But we sell resources, and the territorial forces happen to lack resources, so the price will definitely rise. Su Ming frowned, and after a little thought, he figured out the crux of the problem. Isn't this a problem of demand? Without hesitation, he scolded, Profit merchants. Tell me, how do you sell the stone? With a meaningful smile on Yu Xuanji's face, he stretched out a finger. 10. 1. Why don't you go rob? Oh, don't be angry, my lord, how can this robbery make money quickly? A bright smile appeared on Yu Xuanji's face. It seems that the big revenge has been avenged before. Su Ming said with an ugly face, 70,000 gold coins, I want 1,000,000 stones. In the past 2 days, from time to time, he sold some sea beast equipment and materials that the soldiers exploded, with a total of only 50,000 gold coins. With an offer of 70,000, I still have to sell some things. My lord, you can make it difficult for people to do this. I am also a small business, and I can't afford repeated discounts. Hearing that Su Ming was about to bargain, the smile on Yu Xuanji's face instantly subsided, showing an embarrassed gesture. Yu Xuanji's face changed so quickly that Su Ming was ashamed. Mouth so angry Kakuzu twitched. He threw 50,000 gold coins viciously, and then threw out a lot of equipment and materials. 1,000,000 stones, this is 100,000, calculate it yourself. Yu Xuanji froze for a moment. These gear, these materials. Then he raised his head and looked at Su Ming with a questioning face, as if asking, didn't you say that these things are windfalls? He also told me about the price for half a day, how come there are so many suddenly now? Seeing Yu Xuanji's expression, Su Ming exclaimed in relief, make your villain successful. I used my strength to slap my face today. This lord is also very wealthy. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are still hundreds of boxes in the warehouse. As for bargaining is just an interest. What, isn't that enough? Seeing that Yu Xuanji didn't speak for a long time, Su Ming reminded. Enough. There are many. Yu Xuanji came back to his senses, but the look in Su Ming's eyes became more appetizing. Eyes full of resentment. But Su Ming didn't care much, and asked again, and found that there were also resources such as refined iron for sale. So he threw out piles of materials, and in the unbelievable eyes of Yu Xuanji, he finished shopping and left. At the same time, I also got a message that there are only these resources in the store at present, which have been emptied by Su Ming. If you restock again, you have to wait 3 days. Su Ming took these resources and successfully upgraded the territory 2 levels in a row. His own level has also reached level 9, which is no longer weak. Take a look at the resource requirements for level 10. Resources required for the next upgrade. Stone 400,000, wood 200,000, iron ore 200,000, fine iron 50,000, magic crystal 10,000. The resources collected today and tomorrow are enough to level up 10. At the same time, Su Ming also secretly rejoiced that it was fortunate that talent had a bonus to drop resources, otherwise the number of magic crystals alone would have stopped him. Killing a level 5 monster will drop 10 magic crystals, level 6 will drop 20, level 7 will drop 30, and so on. It doesn't look difficult, just kill 1,000 level 5 monsters. But you must know where to find so many level 5 wild monsters in the new power territory. There are only a few savage beasts on Shuiyu Island that are 5th level, and there are only a few in the Goblin clan. This may be the reason why the previous lord swept the place decades ago. But it can also be seen that it is also very difficult for wild monsters to grow to level 5 or above. This also leads to the quickest way to upgrade the main city to level 10 is to kill the territorial boosts and start the dungeon. In idleness, the day passes quickly. The 7th day, tomorrow is a new week, the cooldown is over, and some people are already starting to wait. For example, a bat killer in a certain forest. John Thompson has been as boring as hell these days. Nothing to do. He is even more idle than Su Ming. Hee hee. Soon, we will be able to recruit again every day. As long as there are people, with the seal of my lord, I will definitely be able to develop again. Those who are ranked ahead of me are scumbags. I will definitely surpass them and re-enter the top 10. It's only been a week, there are still 3 weeks left, there are still opportunities. At this time, John Thompson's eyes were sunken and his face was pale. The speech was slurred, and it looked like a foolish look, no longer arrogant. And no longer say anything like taking back the first place. Because he knew that at least this second ranking was not something he could surpass. The first curse was used on the Dragon Kingdom power, but it didn't get any results. As for number 1, every time he sees the power value that has surpassed 20,000 and is approaching 30,000, his eyes turn red with jealousy. However, it also feels powerless. But even so, the thought of wanting the disgusting number 1 in his heart still exists. There's even a malicious thought that all the curses will be used on this first faction for the next few weeks. Not for anything else, but to satisfy his own bad taste. And he thinks it can prove himself. When I see other lords in the future, I can also say, although I am not the first in the list, it is my own credit for being pulled down from the altar. Every time he thought of this possibility, he felt a little comfort in his heart. He is not the only one who thinks this way. Such as Sakura Flower Country, Stick Country, Asangwo and so on. Many of them have been promoted to 3rd level, with the communication function turned on. As long as there is a private communication, they have been contacted now. Many of them also have curse effect skills. For example, causing geological disasters to occur in places, weakening living beings, infecting plagues, and many other skills that affect the development of forces. The first time before, because they were all focusing on their own development, and they didn't care too much about the list in the past, they just used it to see who was not pleasing to the eye. But it's different now. The power value of the top 1 on the leaderboard is too pervert, so people have to take it seriously. This also coincides with the beginning of the plan. Although Bangzigyu is called Huan, the people at the top of talent still know that the first person on the list cannot be their Bangzigyu. So after they get in touch with each other, the first thing they do is to find people in the country who have the ability to interfere with the development of other forces. Then unify and plan to play big. The strategies of other countries are similar. They all thought in their hearts, anyway, the other party can't find anyone, so there is nothing to be afraid of. Ichiro Okamoto of Sunbreak Canyon is the hardest. He is still only 2nd level, and even the communication function has not been turned on. Facing the start of a new week tomorrow, he said, "It has nothing to do with me, I can't beat booze." First, the door was blocked by the group of iron-eating rats, and then the door was blocked by the fire monitor lizard. Even if he is familiar with various strategies, he cannot develop in this situation. Fortunately, although the food production in the canyon is not much, it can also meet the daily needs of the members of the remaining forces. So what he has to think about now is whether to use tomorrow's recruiting opportunities or not. If you use it, the extra people may go hungry. If it is not used, the power will completely lose the possibility of rising. Is it recruiting, or not recruiting? Ichiro Okamoto sat on a cliff and fished there with a long bamboo pole. But he didn't know that the other awakened people in Sakura Flower Country thought he was dead at this time. After all, who would have thought that an S-rank Lord Seal Awakener would not reach level 3 within a week? In the same talent, in terms of misfortune, Ichiro Okamoto can definitely go down in history. The worst Han Shizhuang didn't talk about it, he was about to starve to death. Han Shizhuang now only has butlers, servants and a few lame soldiers under his command. The loyalty of the stewards and servants is too high, and they have not fallen down for a while. And the lame soldiers were unable to run because they couldn't walk far in this desert and yellow sand. I have to say that Han Shizhuang has worked very hard, and he has collected materials himself in the past few days. However, when God said he turned his face, and a sandstorm hit, and everything fell short. And his adventure skills are still cooling down, there is no way to face this situation. Wu. Han Shizhuang sat at the gate of the territory with a broken face and mourned. Trash world, I don't play anymore, I want to go home. Wu. At this moment, an old man came out of the territory and came to Han Shizhuang's side. Businessman dressed up. This person is Han Shizhuang's resident businessman. Although Han Shizhuang had said miserably in the past few days, he had not encountered any monster attacks. After stumbling, I still managed to scrape together enough resources to upgrade the territory. At the same time recruited the businessman. The merchant's name is Ryadov, a level 50 character. Lord, may I ask, what is your consideration about my previous proposal? Hearing the voice, Han Shizhuang looked up at Ryadov, his eyes full of fear. Just because Ryadov mentioned a deal with him yesterday, a deal about the seal of the Lord. Chapter 51. The seal of the Lord is the medium for people in the real world to enter the virtual world. Without the seal of the Lord, there is no possibility of returning to the real world. But correspondingly, as long as you have the seal of the Lord, and meet the requirements of level 60 of the territory, then no matter who it is, it can come to the real world through the seal of the Lord. Therefore, the thoughts of those who want to buy the seal of the Lord are worth pondering. And this may be the reason why Ryadov, a level 50 powerhouse, came to this small oasis. Han Shizhuang looked at Ryadov and then at the territory behind him. His hands were clenched into fists, and his face was full of unwillingness. At this time, Ryadov suddenly said again, Lord, don't you have a saying there, that if you leave the Green Hills, you are not afraid of running out of firewood? You sell the seal of the Lord now, but you can buy it back when you become stronger. You can even buy a higher level Lord's seal. Even if you can't buy it, you can grab it directly. Anyway, you are from that world, and no one will find anything when you go back. Han Shizhuang listened dazedly. When I heard the word, grab, the first thought that popped into my mind was to grab Su Ming's Lord's seal. A voice in my heart also suddenly sounded, yes, I just need to improve my strength now, and then go directly to grab Su Ming, okay. Anyway, now this ghost place has no chance to develop, there is nothing to hesitate. Okay, I promise you, but you still have to promise me a few conditions. Ryadov's face was calm, as if he had expected it long ago, and said, yes, you can say what conditions are there. I want you to send me to a big city in addition to gold coins, and at the same time, I want you to provide me with a person's place. Whose place do you want, my lord? Su Ming is also the lord of a new force, but the one who awakened was the most trashy F-rank lord's seal. Okay, I will mobilize the network of our Chamber of Commerce to help you find out about this. Is there anything else? No, that's all. Okay, this is 1 million gold coins, please keep it. For Han Shizhuang's seal of the Lord, Ryadov's bid was 1 million, which was one of the reasons why Han Shizhuang was tempted. At the same time that Ryadov sent the gold coins, he also took a contract and handed it to Han Shizhuang. After Han Shizhuang signed the contract, the seal of the Lord in his body condensed into a gray bead and flew out, and the mark on his hand disappeared. Ryadov put away the beads, and the respectful look on his face disappeared. Sir, do you want to leave now? Or do you want to go back and pack up before leaving? Han Shizhuang suddenly glared angrily and looked directly at Ryadov. What do you call me? He has been called an adult these days, but when Han Shizhuang heard the title of Mr., he immediately felt offended. Thinking it was a disrespectful act, he was furious. Those who have the seal of the Lord are adults, and those who do not have the seal of the Lord can only be called gentlemen. Ryadov was indeed not afraid at all, and forced him, Sir, you should make a decision quickly, this is no longer your territory. Seeing Ryadov's face change instantly, but thinking of the strength to deal with, Han Shizhuang suddenly felt powerless. In front of such a businessman, he was still too naive. HMPH, send me away now, and, remember the conditions on the contract, I want that person's location information. Of course I will remember that businessmen will never lose their trust in front of the contract. Please rest assured, sir, and you will be notified as soon as there is news. Saying that, Ryadov took out a staff and placed a teleportation magic directly under Han Shizhuang's feet. May your future be prosperous. There was a flash of light, and then Han Shizhuang disappeared. Ryadov's expression also changed again. HMPH. Stupid, do you really think that the seal of the Lord is so easy to obtain? I have the seal of AD rank Lord, and I still mock the F rank. Where does the pride come from? And 1 million gold coins is tempting. It's even stupider than a pig. On the black market, the lowest Lord's seal can cost tens of millions of gold coins. This time, I really got it cheap. Otherwise, with my old money, it is estimated that it will take 10 years to buy it. The information of an F-rank Lord's Seal Awakener isn't that easy. As long as that person's territory rises to second level, our businessmen will definitely be recruited. Just a reminder, when the time comes, it's not too easy. Now, it's time to think about how to build the territory and then develop it again. It is obviously impossible for Ryadov to continue Han Shizhuang's territory on this oasis. Ryadov is definitely going to reselect a high-quality location for development. Han Shizhuang was unable to relocate the territory, but Ryadov did. Now I will wait until I raise the territory to level 60. With decades of accumulation, I believe that I will soon be able to go to another world. People in the real world yearn for the virtual world, but the creatures in the virtual world also yearn for the real world. After decades of intersection, as long as it is an intelligent creature, it can be found tricky. There must be a reason for the emergence of so many new powerhouses. Under investigation, naturally, the key was found. World overlay, seal of the Lord. Some people are unlucky, and naturally some people are lucky. For example, Ku Wanru. These days are the happiest days for Ku Wanru. Because there are many things that make her happy. The first thing was to get in touch with Su Ming. The second thing is to know Su Ming's true Lord's seal level. The third thing is that Su Ming's territory has been upgraded to 9th level. The fourth thing is that Su Ming promises to send someone to pick her up as soon as she reaches level 10. A total of 4 things, everything is inseparable from Su Ming. As for the promotion of her own territory to the 4th level, she felt nothing. Dabai, do you think Su Ming can rise to level 10 tomorrow? Ku Wanru was teasing the big white rabbit again. The worry that Su Ming will starve to death has long since disappeared. It was at this moment that the people below suddenly came to report that a group of merchants had come to defect. Someone come to flee, and such a good thing. Feng Damu and others hurriedly walked in the desert for 5 days, and finally came to Mochizuki Valley. There were 17 people in the group, 15 strong men, 1 child, and Feng Damu. During the 5-day desert trip, no one was missing. This is enough to show that Feng Damu is so powerful. But at this time, their state was obviously not very good. After all, they had been busy all the way, and they always looked a little embarrassed. And the resources that I brought are almost used up, and the rest are some inedible goods. Master, you are truly amazing. There is really a power in this place. The corners of the little boy's lips were cracked, but there was still a look of reverence in his eyes when he looked at Feng Damu. Others looked at the little boy and smiled. It is not an easy task for a child to walk in the desert. But this little boy not only persevered, but also didn't add any trouble along the way, which is admirable. Luzai, you have performed well these days, come on, this will be your reward. With that said, Feng Damu took out a small saber. The appearance is silver and white, and it is not cheap at first glance. Mu Lao, this is inappropriate. This is a saber that you have to wear close to your body, and you can often ask for it when you walk outside. A strong man stepped forward to persuade. Soderling had followed Feng Damu for many years and knew that this saber was a piece of silver-level equipment. At the same time, it is also the longest melee weapon used by Feng Damu, and it has been carefully maintained. But now Feng Damu wants to take it out and give it away, which makes him very puzzled. Feng Damu waved his hand and said, "It's okay, it's not a professional weapon, anyway, it won't be used in the future." As he spoke, he looked towards Mochizuki Valley. They are now waiting for the lord of this place. Soderling seemed to understand what Feng Damu meant, and looked at Moon Valley. Apparently, Feng Damu had already identified this power. Otherwise, I wouldn't choose to come here after 2 hours of observation outside. The little boy called Xiaoliu was at a loss with a saber on his face. Of course there was joy and love in his eyes, but he was more puzzled by the words between Soderling and Feng Damu. Although he is small and does not know many things, he is smart and sensible. Knowing that everyone in the team treats him very well, naturally he will not have any bad intentions. Including Soderling's behavior of persuading Feng Damu, he did not complain at all. Instead, he looked at Soderling very seriously, as if to say, "As long as you say you can't have it, uncle, I will give it back to the uncle." Soderling clearly saw through Xiao Lu's mind, with a simple and honest smile on his face, and gently rubbed Xiao Lu's head. "Take it, since Mu Lao said so, just remember to cherish it in the future." Xiao Lu nodded solemnly, with a bright smile on his face. Soon, Ku Wanru, the housekeeper, came out with 10 soldiers. The moment he saw Ku Wanru, Feng Damu's eyes lit up. Not because of how beautiful Ku Wanru is, but because of his years of experience walking around the world, he knows that this must be a kind-hearted lord. Desert traveler, Feng Damu has seen Lord. Feng Damu saluted in advance and lowered his own status from the beginning. "You're welcome, old man." Ku Wanru responded quickly, and after seeing everyone's appearance, she immediately turned her head and ordered, "Go and get some water out." He didn't rashly step forward to help, nor did he rashly invite Feng Damu and others into the territory. But he carefully took care of the state of Feng Damu and others. All of these actions gave Ku Wanru extra points in Feng Damu's heart. "Water will be fetched quickly." Before Feng Damu started drinking, Soderling stepped forward to grab the water, and then drank with his head up, at the same time shouting happy. Afterwards, he smiled and said, "Haha, I am too thirsty to hold back. Don't take offense, Lord." Then he handed the water to Feng Damu. Feng Damu was dumbfounded and shook his head helplessly. Of course he understood Soderling's behavior. He had been with him for so many years, and had seen a lot in the world, so naturally he wouldn't be so rash. The behavior just now was just a test of poison. But he and others are all going to defect, and the other party can't see any hostility. To be so cautious, on the contrary, loses grace. Feng Damu also took 2 sips of water to moisten his throat. "Thank you, my lord." "You're welcome, old man." Ku Wanru responded with a smile, and then began to communicate normally, and asked, "I heard that the old man wants to join the territory." Perhaps because of her habit, she didn't use the word departure, and her words were euphemistic. "Yes, the 17 of us have come from a long distance, and we hope that the adults will take them in." Feng Damu has nothing to be embarrassed about, and speaks out bluntly. Ku Wanru turned her head to look at the housekeeper, as if asking for his opinion. The housekeeper always knows more than she does, and knows what kind of career a travel businessman in this world is. The steward observed Feng Damu and his party, and replied softly, "Sir, now is the time to employ people in the territory. If you don't trust these people very much, you can sign a contract with them first. The contract is the most sacred among the merchants. It will be safer to recruit after observing for a period of time." His advice is to seek stability. After all, their power is only a 4th-level territory, and they are not well known. But this Damu and his group of traveling merchants are not simple characters at first glance, so they have to be careful. Ku Wanru felt that what the housekeeper said was very reasonable, so she decided to make such a decision. But at this moment, Feng Damu showed a smile instead, and said, Lord, why don't you agree to let us join the territory first, and see how we can return?" Attentiveness, that is, loyalty. Feng Damu was a 10th-level character, so the housekeeper's words naturally couldn't escape his ears. From the very beginning, Ku Wanru and the others did not check their rank at will, because it would be offensive to outsiders. And this, can't help but feel comfortable with Feng Damu. His current proposal is based on this. Ku Wanru frowned and thought for a while, agreeing first, and then signing the contract depending on the situation. Feng Damu's proposal may be better. And she herself has the blessing of the seal of the Lord. As long as she joins the territory, there will be a certain degree of loyalty improvement. As long as Ishan didn't want to destroy the territory, he would have free time to deal with it. But the appearance of Feng Damu and others doesn't look like they are looking for trouble. Okay, I now officially welcome you to join the elderly. After figuring it out, Ku Wanru announced to the crowd with a soft smile. Feng Damu took the lead, supported his chest with his right hand, and bowed in salute. Join the Lord. Others followed suit. Ding. The travel merchant Fang Damu joined the force, and his identity was changed from the travel merchant to a sericulture tribal resident. Ding. Traveling merchant Soderling joined the force, and his identity was changed from a traveling merchant to a sericulture tribal resident. Ding. Xiaoliu, a travel merchant, joins the force, and his identity is changed from a travel merchant to a sericulture tribal resident. Dozens of beeps sounded in succession. After hearing the news of joining, Ku Wanru just threw it out to check. Name: Fang Damu. Age: 68 years old. Identity: ordinary resident of the Silkworm tribe. Level: 10. Qualification: A. Occupation: junior magician. Loyalty: 85. HP: 1000. Magic value: 1000. Intelligence: 300. Toughness: 120. Mental energy: 500. Attack: 500. Defense: 500. Speed: 500. Skill: Wisdom I trained by extensive knowledge, can evaluate the value of things according to the approximate value. Magic Fire Bomb chanting for 2 seconds, consuming 100 mana points, launching a fireball cannonball, dealing 100 magic damage plus intelligence 10%. Magic Shield chanting for 3 seconds, consumes 100 magic points, and forms a defensive shield with a defense value of 300 plus mental energy 10%. Teleport chanting for 1 second, consumes 50 magic points to quickly move 3 meters away. Arcane Fire Bullet chanting for 10 seconds, consumes 300 magic points, summons 30 fireballs to cause coverage magic damage, the damage intensity is the same as the Magic Fire Bullet. Introduction: a junior magician with extraordinary aptitude but limited by his identity. His 50 years of travel business career has not only exercised his intelligence and mental energy, but also trained him to have a pair of discerning eyes. As long as it is what he believes, there will be no change, and many things will be known. Comments: he is a person who can be entrusted with important tasks. A junior magician, originally supposed to have only 200 intelligence points and 200 mental energy points. But Fang Damu has an intelligence of 300, and mental energy has reached 500. This undoubtedly does not show that he is not simple. Unfortunately, Ku Wanru could not understand these outrageous data. She is now shocked and dazed, and her attention is all on rank and loyalty. With a high level of 10, and having just joined the force, she has a loyalty of 85 points, which has to surprise Ku Wanru. At this time, she also understood why Fang Damu proposed to let them join the territory first. With this loyalty, there is absolutely no need for contracts or anything. Because in this world, what people say may be false, but the data presented must be true. How could it be so easy to pick up a high-level talent? And he changed jobs ahead of time, so he didn't have to wait for his own territory to reach level 10. Ku Wanru was overjoyed, but she suppressed the excitement in her heart very well, and turned her head to look at the others. Others are not as outrageous as Fang Damu, but it is not simple. As far as Soderling is concerned, he also has a level 9 strength. The other strong men were all level 5 or above, and Feng Xiaoliu successfully upgraded to level 4 in the previous 5 days. Moreover, Ku Wanru also found that Feng Xiaoliu was also a bit special. He has a unique tab on his info panel. Special, with the bloodline of the Wind Wolf and Wild Beast. But his race actually marked the human race, which made Ku Wanru very puzzled. Shouldn't this be a subhuman? That is, half-orcs, sometimes called half-humans. When Feng Damu saw Ku Wanru's gaze stopped on Feng Xiaoliu, he knew what the Lord had discovered. After all, he had heard of the magical abilities of many lords. So he smiled at Ku Wanru. Feng Xiaoliu was a child he picked up on the road, so he naturally knew some of his background. Ku Wan softly understood, and was not too entangled at this time. Welcome again to join the sericulture tribe. These people all have a minimum loyalty of 75 points, which makes Ku Wanru strange, but also very happy. At least there is no need to worry about mutiny. At this moment, Feng Damu and the others also smiled. It was obvious that Ku Wanru had completely accepted what Ku Wanru said. And there was no mention of signing a contract. Although the contract is sacred for the merchant, what Feng Damu and others are doing now is to break away from the identity of the merchant. They want to be citizens of the territory and forget their former identities. Butler Lu, please help arrange the accommodation of these people and prepare some food for them. Ku Wanru ordered. Yes, my lord. Butler Lu took the order, and then made a gesture of invitation to Soderling and others. Everyone, please come with me. Soderling and others followed. It was Feng Damu, who chose to stay and stood in front of Ku Wanru and waited quietly. After everyone left, Feng Damu said, if the Lord has any questions, just ask, the old man must know everything. Feng, old man. At this moment, Ku Wanru was suddenly at a loss for words, not knowing what to call her. Just now, because I was a stranger, I used the old man's name, but now I can't do it. But the surname, Feng, is a bit unique, it sounds like, mad, and it's not very good to say anything. Seeing this, Feng Damu smiled and said, if your lord doesn't mind, you can call Lao Shu a Mu Lao, and everyone else calls him that. Okay, Mu Lao. Ku Wanru heaved a sigh of relief. Feng Damu, who has just joined the territory, is obviously not good to be questioned while standing outside the territory. So Ku Wanru suggested, Mu Lao, let's talk while walking. Okay, Lord, please. Feng Damu had already taken off the turban covering the wind and sand on his head, always smiling and looking rather kind. Mu Lao, where did you come from? We came from Tianhe City, located behind the Moon Valley, 1,300 miles southwest of that desert. Is Tianhe City big? Well, Tianhe City is a famous big city in Donglan continent. What kind of people live there? There are many races, humans, orcs, half-orcs, elves, goblins, Maizu, sea races, etc. There are millions of creatures in life, but the city lord there is the kind hell's guarantee of the dragon race. Your Highness, so there, every living being can be treated equally. Dragon clan. Is there still a dragon clan in Donglan continent? Ku Wanru was a little confused, there was no information about the dragon clan in the guide she saw. Because most of the development strategies they got in their hands were early-stage development strategies, and as soon as they came into contact with higher-level creatures such as dragons, they could not be regarded as early-stage. Except for special circumstances, such as Zhang Susu, the dragon clan will basically not appear in the territory of the new forces. This is the protection of new forces, so naturally there is not much introduction in the strategy. Yes, according to rumors, there are 3 dragon clans in Donglan continent, all of them are powerhouses above level 70. One of them is the Highness of Tianhe City, and there is a guardian beside her who is also a dragon clan. The other one, Listen to said to wander around all the year round, many people have seen her, but are not sure of her whereabouts. Level 70. When Ku Wanru heard this level, she took a deep breath. Hee, adults don't need to worry. Such an existence will not easily offend other forces. Feng Damu explained to Ku Wanru with a smile, and said, moreover, in this Donglan continent, the recognized number 1 powerhouse is the human race. Like your lord, he comes from other places. With his protection, no force dares to provoke trouble at will. Quote. Ku Wanru was taken aback for a moment, she came from the same place as her, that was the real world. This first powerhouse is actually a lord from the real world. Curiously asked. Mu Lao, do you know the name of the faction where the strongest is? Feng Damu thought about it and recalled. It seems to be called the Dragon Soul Empire, but some people call it the Azure Dragon Empire. This name seems to be because there is a magical creature called Azure Dragon in that faction, which is somewhat different from the dragon family. I've only heard of it, but I haven't seen it. When Ku Wanru heard the name, she felt inexplicably proud. Dragon Soul, isn't this the powerhouse of our dragon kingdom? Are there any other rumors? Some. The two chatted all the way to the Lord's mansion, and Zaire brought tea and snacks. Along the way, Feng Damu was basically talking, and Ku Wanru was listening. Feng Damu's knowledge is indeed extensive, and he speaks clearly and fluently, which makes Ku Wanru gain a lot of knowledge. By the way, Mu Lao, I saw a special bloodline message on Feng Xiaoliu before, do you know this? In fact, Ku Wanru wanted to ask this question just now, but when she saw Feng Damu's gesture, she didn't say it. The bloodline of the Wind Wolf clan, right? Feng Damu didn't hide it, and explained to Ku Wanru, little Luzai was picked up by me in the Valley of the Wind 2 years ago. The Valley of the Wind is the territory of the Wind Wolf clan. But I don't know the reason, and I don't know what force killed the clan. At that time, I was passing there and saw Xiao Luzai in a coma in a crevice. When my heart softened, I took him with me. Perhaps the extermination of the family hit him too hard. After waking up, he lost his memory. In order to let him grow up healthy, I didn't tell him anything. Up to now, he has always thought that he is an ordinary person, but sometimes he will pester people to ask him why he has the urge to yell at Hongyu. Little Luzai is only 7 years old now, but he already has 4th level strength. If you want, Lord, I hope you can train Xiao Luzai as a warrior. Ku Wanru was originally a soft-hearted girl, and when she heard Feng Damu's remarks, tears began to flow in her eyes. A 5-year-old child, who suffered a family annihilation, got into a crack in the stone in order to survive. If Feng Damu hadn't passed by at that time, perhaps Feng Xiaoliu would have been a dead bone in the crack of the stone. Fortunately, I lost my memory later, so I don't have to grow up with the blood feud of genocide. No, Feng Xiaoliu is still young, how can he be allowed to do a dangerous profession like a soldier? Hearing Feng Damu's proposal, Ku Wanru subconsciously refused. Feng Damu persuaded. The adults don't know anything. Little Luzai has followed us around for the past 2 years, and we have been trained by us. His skills are not small. And he also has the talent of the Wind Wolf clan, which grows very fast, and he will be no weaker than me if he improves again. At the same time, I can also assure you, Lord, that as long as Xiao Luzai is trained, he will definitely become the cutting-edge force in the territory after 2 years. Seeing that Feng Damu said this and said it so exaggeratedly, Ku Wanru was also a little shaken. Can a child really be trained into a cutting-edge force? After thinking about it, Ku Wanru decided to keep this idea first, and made a decision after asking Feng Xiaoliu for her own opinion. Feng Damu saw the change in Ku Wanru's expression, and the smile on his face became more and more peaceful. Lord, since we are here to defect this time, the goods we brought before are useless. Please arrange for someone to go down and receive them together. How could there be no goods in the caravan of traveling merchants? So Feng Damu and others are no exception. And they brought a lot of things, which are worth hundreds of thousands of gold coins according to the average market price. It's yours, how can I want it? I don't want it. Ku Wanru shook her head without hesitation. Lord, you can take these goods as our vote certificate, so that we can have a lot of peace of mind in the territory life in the future. Feng Damu knew how to persuade Ku Wanru's character. We are now inhabitants of the Silkworm and Mulberry tribe, and it is useless to hold these goods. If you look at it often, it is easy to be affected by previous experiences, so even if you are doing it to let everyone better and faster integration into the forces should also accept this batch of goods. Ku Wanru was really moved. She really had no idea of swallowing the goods, after all, she didn't know the value of the goods carried by Feng Damu and others. Okay, then I'll take your goods. But I won't move, I will only keep it for you. When you are short of money in the future, you can come to me to get the goods and sell them. Ku Wanru said very seriously. This kind of behavior is stupid, but at least it follows the thoughts of the heart. Seeing this, Feng Damu knew that if he wanted Ku Wanru to accept this batch of goods with peace of mind, he might need to find another way. So he said, Lord doesn't know, this batch of goods will be broken in a short time. So I suggest that my lord let the housekeeper just now take it and sell it. In this way, my lord, you can help keep the money, and the effect is the same. Ku Wanru nodded. Okay, let's do it like this. Soon Steward Liu came in, and after taking orders, he backed out. At the right time, Feng Damu also retreated. No one knew what he did, only that the number of gold coins that Ku Wanru needed to keep was 100,000. And the development of the territory has become more rapid without knowing it. The capital of the Dragon Soul Empire, the City Lord's mansion. A heavily armed soldier enters the Great Hall. There is a serious-looking middle-aged man on the Great Hall who is reviewing documents. The soldier walked to the middle of the Great Hall and knelt down to salute. Report to the Lord. There is news from the Chamber of Commerce that there is another transaction contract for the sale of the Lord's seal in the Donglan continent. In this world, the Chamber of Commerce is very mysterious and very powerful. They never intervene in the struggle of any forces, but their every move can always arouse the vigilance of major powers. And only those powerful enough to threaten their chamber of commerce can communicate with them on an equal footing and get some special rights. And provide them with everything they can to facilitate. It's a good deal of sincerity. The Dragon Soul Empire is such an existence. Because more than 10 years ago, there was a situation where the creatures in the virtual world went to the real world, and brought great disasters to the real world. Although this matter has been suppressed, it has also become the heart disease of all high-level officials. Therefore, all the top powerhouses in this virtual world have unanimously reached an agreement, that is, to strictly investigate the sale of the Lord's seal. As soon as it is found, the buyer is directly eradicated. As for the seller, without the seal of the Lord, you can only stay in this virtual world forever, and you don't need to care. And sometimes, buys and sells are forced, and there is no strategy for sellers in any agreement. Who is the buyer? The middle-aged man's majestic voice sounded, with an aura that was not angry and mighty. Lord, it's a businessman from the Chamber of Commerce in the territory. Oh, the middle-aged man raised his head, the outline of a knife and axe, thick eyebrows and big eyes, and straight facial features. The man's name is Jin Shujong, the eldest son of the Jin group, the third largest group in the Dragon Kingdom. There was surprise in his tone, but there was more playfulness in his eyes. Guarding against theft, haha, it's kind of interesting. Jin Shujong asked, what was the reaction of their Chamber of Commerce? Go back to the Lord, their Chamber of Commerce has not done anything and seems to be waiting for us to do it ourselves. Hehe, I want us to make trouble with this and ask for compensation. A humble businessman always only has profit in his eyes, and he even takes advantage of his own people. When he said this, he completely forgot his origin in the real world. As the third largest group in Longguo, the Kim group was also a businessman at first, and later developed into a group. But later, because of Jin Shujong's reasons, the Jin group gradually transformed into a state-owned enterprise. Among all the groups in the Dragon Country, the strength is only the third, but the prestige is not comparable to any group. Please also give instructions from the Lord. Jin Shujong pondered for a while, and said, since they want to play, then play big. Don't they want us to kill people and find a chance to make trouble? Then I'll do the opposite, just leave that person alone and let him develop his power. The protection period of the new forces is 1 month. In this month, as long as he is eager enough, his ranking on the leaderboard will naturally be higher. The facts were exposed to everyone's eyes, and he became the target of public criticism. At that time, it was not the Chamber of Commerce who came to find trouble, but it was time for us to find them. I won't be called Jin DeLong if I don't remove a layer of their skin this time. Jin DeLong. DeLong is Jin Shujong's nickname, but he himself likes the name Jin DeLong very much. Several times when I wanted to change my name, I was beaten by the old man at home, saying it was disrespectful. Lord, what should we do specifically? After thinking for a while, Jin Shujong replied, go and do something for the Chamber of Commerce so that they won't be able to leave within this month, and fractionated divinity will not be able to handle this matter. Also, this matter must not be disclosed to the outside world, and even those who knew about the deal before have to keep their mouths shut. The soldier lowered his head and responded in a deep voice, yes, my lord. If there is a mistake, the subordinates will come to see you. Go, do what you want to do, hurry down and do it, don't move and you will die. Jin Shujong frowned when he heard the soldier's words, and waved his hand in disgust. For a moment, the tyrannical spirit was completely gone. Subordinates retire. Soldiers always look serious, stand up and turn away. After the soldiers left, Jin Shujong's mind was temporarily separated from government affairs and began to think about the situation of the new forces. After all, today is the 7th day, and tomorrow is a new week. I don't know how the little dolls are developing, and my precious niece, she seems to be the lord of this group of new forces. It's a pity that they can't join the World Chat channel until they reach level 30, otherwise they can contact them directly. Now we can only wait for them to open the list in a month. From noon to the afternoon, Su Ming came to the Lord's mansion. After a day and a half of hard work, we have successfully collected enough resources to upgrade the main city. Oh, I didn't expect that I would also have a time of tight living. Seeing just enough resources to upgrade, Su Ming complained, but his heart was full of joy. Bring up the panel and click directly. Upgrade. Ding. The main city has been successfully upgraded. This upgrade consumes 400,000 stone materials, 200,000 wood, 200,000 iron ore, 50,000 refined iron, and 10,000 magic crystals. Ding. Congratulations to player Su Ming for successfully upgrading the main city to level 10, the power value plus 5000, and the upper limit of the territorial building level. Ding. Territory occupation arms conversion is unlocked, and the Lord's Mansion transfer tower is generated. Ding. Player Su Ming's level has been raised to level 10, and his attributes have been improved. Ding. The territory has been expanded to 1,000 meters outside Shuiyu Island. Resources required for the next upgrade. Stone 500,000, wood 300,000, iron ore 500,000, fine iron 100,000, magic crystal 30,000, primary blueprint 1. Ding. You become the first player of this new faction to upgrade the territory to level 10. Get the only achievement, leader, reputation plus 1000, charm value plus 50. Charm. Another strange statistic. Su Ming didn't care much after seeing it. The territory has risen to level 10, and it is time for the soldiers and beasts to change jobs. So he summoned others to the new transfer tower in the Lord's Mansion. Huang San quickly brought people and beasts. Huang San commanded, "Go in all, choose your suitable profession, the beasts don't have to choose, you can only become a barbarian first." Soldiers and beasts entered in turn. Soon, the temperament of the soldiers changed drastically after they came out. 7 soldiers chose the warrior profession, 1 chose the archer profession, 1 chose the assassin, and 1 chose the mage. The one who chose the mage was called Zhang Dapao. Su Ming had been informed before and asked him if he could learn the skills dropped by the Shadow Spider King if he chose the mage. In addition to being surprised by his vision, Su Ming still tested him, and found that he was really a mage, so he agreed. Now also complete the promise. Throw him a poisonous spider web and stare of the spider, 1 output skill, 1 control skill. As for the dozen or so savage beasts who were brought to boosts and reached level 10, they all became savage soldiers. The feathered eagle family was specially taken care of, so with the addition of Dapeng, a total of 11 feathered eagles reached level 10. Su Ming rejoiced. Very good, you can leave for Mochizuki Valley tomorrow. You all go down and have a good rest and adjust your state. Yes. The soldiers responded in unison. The wild beasts also responded. Tomorrow will be a brand new day. Su Ming fell asleep peacefully and had a good night's sleep. The next morning at 6 o'clock, I woke up on time. But this time, I didn't choose to run, but to check the Infinite Awakening skills for the first time. Infinite Awakening skill cooldown time 0 days cooled. Great, you don't have to wait until morning. Before Su Ming came to Donglan Continent in the morning, logically speaking, the exact 7-day cooldown of Infinite Awakening should be a few hours later. Unexpectedly, this skill only counts the number of days, and does not care about other time differences. The cooldown of the Infinite Awakening skill has ended. Do you want to use the skill Awakening talent? Awakening. Su Ming confirmed without hesitation. Ding. Congratulations to player Su Ming for Awakening talent, summoning. Ding. Infinite Awakening skill cooldown time 7 days. Introduction to Summoning. Driven by will, summoning the spirits of the heavens and the worlds. Rarity. SSS. Attribute. Restriction 1. The summoning talent can be summoned once a day. Restriction 2. Each world plane can only summon 1 creature at a time. Talent feature 1. The strength of summoned creatures depends on luck. Talent feature 2. Summoned creatures determine loyalty according to their strength. The stronger the ability, the lower the loyalty, 27 minimum loyalty 80. The talent introduction this time is very brief, but in Su Ming's view, this does not hinder its power. Summoning living beings from the heavens and the world, just relying on this, is not enough. And with the characteristics of the destiny, Su Ming is a bad luck person. The luck of the past few days has doubled several times in a row, and now his luck level is already Hong Fu Chi Tian. There is also no need to consider loyalty. Although 80 points is also very high, Su Ming always likes to be full. Summoning all creatures. Would you like to try it now? Su Ming thought about it, and clicked summon. Unexpectedly, the first step of summoning is to determine the world plane first. The planes flashed and disappeared one by one, and soon they were frozen in one plane. 3 kingdoms. Su Ming was overjoyed. He is not unfamiliar with this name, and there are 3 kingdoms type in many strategy games he played before. The characters and stories are all familiar. My favorite character is Shu Chu, a tiger idiot. For nothing else, just 2 words, die hard. Shu Chu has a strong appearance, and is extremely brave. He looks rough, but he follows the law carefully. Loyal to Cao Cao all his life, when Cao Cao died, he cried until he vomited blood. It can be said that no one dislikes Shu Chu as long as he is brought into the role of the protagonist. Maybe other characters are more amazing and talented than Shu Chu, but just looking at Su Ming's preferences, he still likes Shu Chu a little more. So before preparing to click the summon for the second time, he could not help but fold his hands together in prayer, hoping to recruit Shu Chu as a fierce general. He didn't know that such behavior unintentionally triggered the blessing skill in the innate characteristics. After praying, just as he was about to start summoning, Bai Ling suddenly came outside the house. Pushing the door and entering, seeing Su Ming sitting on the bed looking at himself, he was not afraid and responded with a sweet smile. "Sir, are you awake? Are you going out for a run today?" "Forget it today, take a rest, why do you get up so early?" Su Ming is also curious. Bai Ling had the habit of sleeping late during this time, and I don't know if it was transferred from Su Ming. "Oh, it was Butler Huang who contacted me just now to say that a wrecked elf was found on the beach, and whether or not to rescue it depends on your approval." "Elf? Then save me, what do I need to approve? Isn't it a big deal?" "Yes," I responded the same way, but Butler Huang said that this elf is a bit special, and you need to go there yourself. "That's it, then I'll go there, just because I haven't seen the elves yet, it's better to go and see." Su Ming got up, did not shy away from Bai Ling, and went out directly to wash and change clothes. A few minutes later, the 2 came to the beach. But the first scene I saw here was dumbfounded. This is the misfortune of the elves, this is clearly the misfortune of Huang-san and others. On the left, Huang-san and several other fishermen were bound by black ropes. On the right, Chen Dabbing and other 10 soldiers, as well as Yuying Brutal were all trapped in black cages. They tried their best to get the cages. In the middle, a female elf wearing a black magic hat, a black gauze mask, a long black dress, and a bumpy figure is flapping 2 pairs of wings and floating in the air. She also held a huge crystal ball in her hand, and the crystal ball contained strong magic elements. Since Su Ming entered her line of sight, her eyes have been staring at Su Ming, as if to see him through. But in the end, all she got was the information that strength is 10th level. Even skills are question marks. And Su Ming is different from her. Su Ming's eyes are on Huang-san and others. Seeing that Huang-san and the others were only trapped and had not been abused, he felt relieved. Turning his head to look at the black elf in the middle, he asked, "Since you are only trapping people, but not hurting them, do you have other purposes? Say your terms, how can you let them go?" Not knowing the details, Su Ming chose to do the rites first and then the soldiers. And he also wanted to know the origin of the other party and his purpose. "What's your name?" The elf's voice was hoarse, and he asked Su Ming without answering. Su Ming replied, "Su Ming, the awakened Su, the remembered Ming." "What is the purpose of your coming to Shuiyu Island?" The elf asked again. Su Ming looked at the elf with some doubts. But from these words, he got some information. This elf is most likely from the surrounding forces, otherwise why would they care about a new small force on Shuiyu Island? But around Shuiyu Island, except for the big forest, there is water. Elves don't live in water, so they can only come from the big forest. The purpose of my coming to Shuiyu Island? I don't know myself, maybe it is to develop the power to become stronger. And what the elf said made Su Ming very fascinated, as if Su Ming came here on purpose. But he was randomly dropped. Before that, he knew the shitty Shuiyu Island, let alone the purpose of coming here. The elf looked at Su Ming's eyes, and after a few breaths, he found that Su Ming's expression was natural, and he didn't seem to be lying. He asked again, "Why is your territory developing so fast?" As soon as he said this, his identity was undoubtedly revealed. This person is the queen of the Black Elves in the Great Forest of Gore, Angustia. Apart from her faction, no other faction has checked Su Ming's territory. It was precisely because she came to investigate that Tia was able to compare the present with the past. Of course, Su Ming didn't know about this. This morning, Tia originally planned to come to Shuiyu Island and pretend to be an elf in distress, so that she could sneak into the territory and play. But after seeing the rank and professional status of the territorial soldiers, he immediately stopped playing. She knew that the information Sophie gave her would not be wrong. It could only be that in these few days, this mysterious territory had developed extremely rapidly. And it's faster than you can imagine. In just 1 week, he actually developed his territory to level 10 and completed his career change. How did you do that? Tia was very puzzled, so she began to beat and ask questions. Fortunately, she was still cautious and brought a magic ball with her when she went out, which could provide herself with a steady stream of magic power. Otherwise, in this level-limiting space, no matter how high her original level was, it would be useless, and her attribute value would only be the same as her current level. Moreover, in the brief confrontation just now, she also discovered that the attack power and defense power of these soldiers are ridiculously high. One of them even went straight to level 20. She had to use the magic ball, otherwise she would really see blood. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. "You shameless black-faced woman, if you have the ability to let go of Lao Su will one-on-one with you." Zhang Dabao screamed in the cage. He is also a magician, so his treatment is slightly different from that of Chen Dabing and others. Not only was he locked in a cage, but his hands and feet were bound and he was hanged. The purpose of this is to prevent him from singing quietly and releasing magical skills. Hearing this, Tia's eyes narrowed slightly under the veil, revealing a dangerous aura. Here, can you put Zhang Dabao down first? Su Ming also found out about Zhang Dabao's tragic situation after hearing the voice, and felt sympathy for a while. No, Tia directly refused. Su Ming's brows also wrinkled, revealing an imperceptible chill. I don't know when there was an extra dice in my hand. As early as a few days ago, Su Ming had already learned the blood exchange curse skills. The skill of blood exchange curse originally had a lot of limitations, the biggest being the blood volume. If the person who learns this skill has less than 60% of the opponent's HP, then using it is equivalent to committing suicide. But this limitation was perfectly filled by the destiny, and it became an invincible skill in Su Ming's hands. Although there is a mana requirement when using it, Su Ming can only use it twice at most. But who can survive a few 60% exchange blood? What's more, Su Ming has cursed dice in his hand. As long as you roll 4 or more points and then release the skill, if the opponent does not have the ability to reduce the curse, it will be an instant kill. Now the elf's behavior is undoubtedly angering Su Ming, and he already has a plan to kill the other party in his heart. I'm really giving you face. You don't appreciate being polite to you, do you really think I'm easy to bully? I dared to invade my territory, and now I detain my people, and you want to ask me how to develop quickly. Why don't you go to heaven? Do you really think you are invincible? Su Ming also directly said that he turned his face, and Ben didn't give Tia the slightest chance to react. When the dice was thrown in his hand, a 3-pointer appeared. Blood curse. In an instant, Tia felt bad. She also did not expect that Su Ming would suddenly change his face, just because she refused to let go of the person with a dirty mouth. But now it was too late to react. Tia snorted and noticed that most of her blood volume instantly disappeared. Shout out bad. At this time, Su Ming's voice was heard again. It only lost 60%, it seems that you have the ability to reduce damage. With a smile on his face, Su Ming played with the curse dice in his hand, and said with some pity, it seems that your reduction is only 30%. What if I roll a 6 this time? Tia looked terrified, and she didn't know what skill Su Ming was using to cause damage to her. However, she is not an easygoing person, and she used several dark magics in a row while speaking. But Su Ming didn't care. This is in his territory, as long as it is fatal damage, he can ignore it directly. In his territory, as long as he doesn't go out, he just wants to make waves, how to make waves. Therefore, his blood volume quickly dropped below 100 points. Then there are all kinds of strange factors that make Tia's magic invalid. As for the lost blood, Su Ming didn't have to worry at all, there was a nurse standing behind him. Su Ming walked out of the traces of dark magic, and finally came to Tia. Seeing that Su Ming's blood volume seemed to be locked, Tia's expression became frightened. At this time, Su Ming found an opportunity and rolled the dice for the second time. A big 6 turned up. 6 o'clock. Great luck. Kill. The curse of exchange blood. In an instant, 90% of Tia's remaining blood volume evaporated. What? Tia exclaimed and fell directly from the sky. She studied dark magic, and she didn't know any of the healing skills. And she is a magic elf, with a typical crisp skin and only a pitiful 2000 HP. Now, like Su Ming, she only has 100 HP left. To be precise, it was 80 o'clock. Su Ming saw Tia fall, but did not reach out to catch her, but let her fall in front of him. Then he reached out and took off Tia's magic hat. At this moment, a mocking expression appeared on Tia's face under the veil. So close, I can't believe you're not dead yet. Activate the magic ball to release skills. Instant magic, engulfing darkness. As long as this magic skill hits Su Ming will surely die. Then strangely, when the magic was about to touch Su Ming, it suddenly turned and went directly to the open space behind. What? Tia was stunned and couldn't believe it. In front of him, Su Ming seemed to have a protective shield around him that could not be broken. Is he immortal? At this time, Tia's heart began to panic. Su Ming looked at Tia, who was still thinking about killing her, and the chill on her face became more and more turbulent. But soon, Su Ming was stunned. Because he has lifted the veil of Tia, revealing the true face of Tia. At the same time, also saw Tia's information panel. Name: Angst Tia. Race: Elf race. Identity: Queen of the Black Elves. Age: 28 years old. Locked. Level: 1550. Qualification: SS. Occupation: Senior Magician. HP: 2000. Magic value: 5000. Intelligence: 3000. Toughness: 700. Mental strength: 5200. Skill: because the territory has risen to level 10, the upper limit has also been raised, from level 10 to level 15. And the 15th level Tia, the data is already terrifying. Due to the growth characteristics of the mage, each level has an additional intelligence and spiritual power bonus. An ordinary 15th level magician has 1200 intelligence and 2000 mental power. Once compared, Tia's data nearly tripled. Elves, Queen. Although Su Ming was shocked by the data on Tia, she was also very interested in her identity. It seems like a big fish. Although I don't know why a queen would appear on Shuiyu Island alone, these Su Mings don't care anymore. Su Ming took out the horn dagger and put it on Tia's neck, threatening, if you don't want to die, let them go now. You dare not kill me. I am the only king of the Black Elves. Once you kill me, you and your territory will face endless revenge from the Black Elves. Tia raised her head and looked directly at Su Ming. Her current behavior is not stupid, but to add leverage to herself. Oh, threat me, Queen. What about the Queen? Unexpectedly, Su Ming didn't eat her shit at all. Are the elves strong? So what? At least this month cannot invade Shuiyu Island. And after a month, his strength is enough to deal with it. It might have been a little difficult to rely on only one destiny talent before, but now there is another summoning talent, and other talents will be awakened in the next few weeks. With so many SSS level talents, you will be scared to death, and you are still afraid of an elf. Seeing that Su Ming was not threatened, Tia suddenly panicked and couldn't think of any other way. Understand, or don't understand. Su Ming sent the dagger forward and threatened again. Tia's eyes were full of unwillingness. It was the first time she had been threatened like this. But the situation was stronger than people, and she had to bow her head. In the end, he tilted his head and untied Huang San and the others. Bai Ling, come here. Su Ming shouted. Hearing the sound, Bai Ling quickly ran over. There is no need for Su Ming to ask again, a healing skill is used. After a few breaths, Su Ming's state returned to full. Tie her up and throw her to the ground for money. Ah, my lord, there is no dungeon in the territory. No dungeons. How can a territory have no dungeons? Su Ming asked in surprise. At this time, Huang San came over embarrassedly and explained. Sir, this is my dereliction of duty. I thought it would not be useful before, so I planned it later. The dungeon is for prisoners, but will there be prisoners in the farming tribe? They are all 100% loyal to the territory, how could there be prisoners? This is also the reason why Huang San didn't think it would be useful at first, so he didn't build it for the time being. Well, is there any other place where people can be locked up? Su Ming knew the meaning of Huang San's words and didn't mean to blame. This, Huang San and Bai Ling looked at each other, and finally looked at Su Ming in unison. Huh, what do you mean procrastination? Su Ming was stunned for a moment, but quickly reacted from the strange eyes of the two. Surprised. You mean the Lord's mansion? Huang San and Bai Ling did not answer, which was regarded as the default. Su Ming's expression suddenly looked ugly. Treat my Lord's mansion as a prison. Then what have I become? If it is not locked in the Lord's mansion, where else can people be locked? In the end, Su Ming could only reluctantly agree. Bai Ling stepped forward and tied Tia. Huang San suddenly took out a bottle of potion and said, Sir, this is a potion forbidding magic. Drinking it can limit the use of magic for a certain period of time. Su Ming was playing with the magic ball he took from Tia, when he heard the voice and looked at Huang San. I saw that he was holding a purple medicine bottle in his hand. Forbidden potion. And this thing, where did you get it? How much? Su Ming simply asked in doubt. Master, this forbidden magic potion was made by the alchemist yesterday. I thought it would be useful when I went out today, so I brought it with me. At present, there is only this bottle. A bottle is a bit small. How long can you limit the use of magic? It depends on the strength of the person taking it, and it is up to 7 days. Well, give her a drink to prevent her from running around. Just now Su Ming was thinking, how to lock Tia in the Lord's mansion. I can't just give her a blood exchange curse every once in a while to control her blood volume, right? Bai Ling took the potion and gave it to Tia directly. Tia also knew the form and did not resist. At this time, Su Ming also saw that Tia had a state of forbidden magic, which lasted for 3 days. HMPH, it's cheaper for you. Bai Ling looked at Tia angrily, then pulled Tia up and took her to the Lord's mansion. In her opinion, Tia's actions to kill Su Ming just now were enough to sentence Tia to death. If it wasn't for her identity, why would she choose to be locked up? It must have been killed. As for Su Ming's idea just now, he was only thinking of the worst. At the same time, she made a subconscious judgment on Tia's threat. If you really want to kill him if you don't agree with one word, it's purely looking for trouble, and you won't feel comfortable in the territory. Locked up, this is the best choice, and at the same time, Tia and the Black Elf can do some benefit exchanges. Not to mention too much time, it is still possible to shut down for 10 days and a half months, at least until the territory develops to level 20. At that time, it would be more confident to deal with the elves, and it would not be too late to decide her life or death after Tia's deterrent effect became smaller. But looking at Tia's back, Su Ming couldn't help thinking. Is it so coincidental? There are elves living in such a forest. Did they live here all the time, or moved in later? Tia's race is the elves, but her identity is the queen of the black elves. Is this the split of the elves? And why is she not a black elf? Are there any other stories here? Does Tia have another identity? All these puzzled Su Ming. It seems that I have to find an opportunity to ask later. Su Ming thought to himself. Tia's mana is exhausted, her blood is not healthy, her body is very weak, and she basically relies on Bai Ling. Purple liquid flowed from the corner of his mouth, looking very embarrassed. Although Bai Ling hated Tia, she did not refuse and let her lean on him. But to get her to treat, that's impossible. Okay, the matter has been resolved, you go back quickly. Su Ming looked at Huang San and others. This morning, Huang San and the others were planning to pick them up at Mochizuki Valley. Just happened to see Tia pretending to be in distress. Stepping forward to rescue them, but Tia suddenly shot at them for no apparent reason, so there was a scene of being trapped behind. And Huang San contacted Bai Ling and was forced by Tia. However, considering that this was on Shuiyu Island, Su Ming would not be in any danger. Moreover, Su Ming has learned the curse of blood exchange, and with his talent, he has the ability to deal with Tia, so Huang San chose to contact him. Otherwise, Huang San would not contact him if there was any possibility of putting Su Ming in danger, even if he threatened death. Good lord, Huang San said that he was about to leave. Su Ming seemed to have thought of something, and suddenly called out, "Wait a minute. What else is there to order, sir?" Huang San turned around and looked at Su Ming suspiciously. "He has everything ready, there shouldn't be anything missing." Su Ming did not respond to him, but clicked on the panel. "Continue what you just didn't do. Summoning. Since I guessed that Tia is from the force in the big forest, it is obvious that the road will not be too smooth. So it is better to strengthen the strength of the team. And this call is the best choice. With Su Ming's luck, the summoned character must be a god-level character, and anyone can meet the requirements. Ding. Summoning talent activated. Ding. Congratulations on getting a god-level general, Hukai Shuchu. That's great, really metaphysics is still useful." Su Ming is overjoyed. He had just prayed a while ago, but unexpectedly, he really attracted the tiger idiot Shuchu. Name: Shuchu. Age: 30 years old. Identity: Lord Guard. Level: 1560. Qualification: SSS Seal of the Lord. Chaj Occupation: God General carried by plane. Loyalty: 100 full. HP: 10,000 doubled strength, 18,000 doubled endurance, 9,000 doubled attack, 3,000, defense, 5,000, speed, 1,400, rage, 3,000. Skill: Berserk consumes 300 rage, instantly increases 300 plus strength 10% strength, attack power plus 1500, all damage received minus 50%, ignores control skills, duration 10 minutes, cooldown 30 minutes. Rage consumes 300 rage, attack power plus 1000, deterrence power plus 1000, attack power minus 30% to the enemy, defense power minus 30%, speed minus 30%. Bloodthirsty Rage passive skill, every 1% damage of HP, increase 100 points of attack power, increase 100 points of strength. When HP is lower than 10%, 10% of damage will be converted into HP. Naked Clothing passive skill, after taking damage, 25% of the damage is converted into anger, and 25% of the damage is dealt true damage to the enemy. Tiger Kai passive skill, take fatal damage, forcibly retain 1 blood, lasts 10 minutes. Introduction. One of the 2 evil spirits, Tiger Idiot, loyal and unparalleled. Hint. Summoned from the 3 Kingdoms plane by Su Ming, the lord of the farming tribe, removes the memory of the previous life, and retains the instinct and character. Gorgeous data to the extreme. The shock brought by Tia's data just now disappeared. Although Shu Chu only had 5 skills, each of them was comparable to a boost level existence. Moreover, 3 of them are passive skills. If it weren't for the limitation of territory, perhaps Shu Chu's data would have increased tenfold. Good, good, good. As expected of a Tiger Idiot, the top god general during the 3 Kingdoms period. When Su Ming saw Shu Chu, his love was beyond words. At the same time, thinking of Tia just now, an idea suddenly came to mind. However, it will be decided after Ku Wanru is taken over. Looking at Shu Chu's appearance, he is more than 8 feet tall, with a waist of 10 circumferences, and his appearance is majestic. It's a pity that he doesn't have his signature weapon, a sledgehammer, otherwise his aura would explode. Shu Chu stepped forward, knelt down on one knee, and cupped his hands in a loud voice. Last General Shu Chu, see your lord. Very well, this is Huang San, Butler Huang, you follow him to pick up someone, and follow the arrangements of Butler Huang on the way. Su Ming pointed at Huang San and instructed Shu Chu, remember, be sure to protect that person's safety. The commander-in-chief. Shu Chu glanced at Huang San, his expression is usual. It seems to him that as long as it is the master's instructions, it is the same who obeys the orders. Huang San and others were still amazed at Su Ming's immortal means, and at the same time shocked by Shu Chu's level and strength. Their loyalty is full and can know the situation of other members. They don't know what the concept of level 60 is, but they do know that a wizard just turned them around. Huang San was the first to come back to his senses, and quickly responded, with such a strong person helping you, you can protect yourself no matter where you are, you can rest assured, I will definitely pick up people safely. Okay, let's go. Again, if there is a black elves blocking the way, just use their queen to threaten. Su Ming asked again. Now with Shu Chu, it stands to reason that he can try to push the elves horizontally. But Su Ming was worried about Ku Wanru's safety, so she chose to be cautious. Moreover, he also has new plans for the elves, and this time may be another good opportunity to expand his power. After watching Huang San and the others leave, Su Ming returned alone. But while walking on the road, Su Ming suddenly stopped again. His face became quite strange. John Thompson also woke up early today. After carefully grooming and dressing up, I went straight to the recruiting center as soon as I went out. Recruit 10 soldiers, then continue the previous operation, kill them and use undead summon. Still all successful, ordered the undead soldiers to hunt. But left behind the undead summoned by an elite soldier. Last time, I sacrificed an undead beast at random, and the curse effect was 20%. If I sacrificed elite soldiers this time, wouldn't it have reached 70 or 80? John Thompson's talent Undead Blood Right, one of the traits aspect of the undead can increase the effect of the curse by 80%. That is, the curse with only 10% effect originally, in his hand, the effect can reach 18%. The stronger the curse effect, the more the boost will be. It can be said that his talent is naturally suitable for becoming a curse wizard, taking the pure curse magic route. With this terrifying face of his world, it complements each other perfectly. In 10 days, the output will drop by 70 or 80, I will see how you develop, ha ha ha. The more John Thompson thought about it, the more excited he was, and all the energy he had had before had returned. And in the past few days, he has also come to a solution, and that is to dig underground. Since there is no stone on the ground, is there also no stone under the ground? John Thompson doesn't believe it. His decision was indeed correct, and there were indeed stones in the ground. But unfortunately he doesn't know one thing, that is, this world has a refresh mechanism, and it will refresh on time every morning at 6 o'clock. All destroyed objects outside the perimeter building walls will be restored. He wants to collect stone from the ground. This method is fine, but he has to dig it every day. John Thompson immediately used the curse skill. At the same time, he took out his weapon to kill and sacrifice the undead soldiers. But the undead soldier has been upgraded to level 3 because of the recruiting station, plus the attributes and level bonuses from John Thompson's talent, and it will be level 4 as soon as it comes out. John Thompson can't be killed for a while. Why are you so meaty? Hurry down and let me kill the sacrifice. John Thompson originally wanted to have a gorgeous sacrificial ceremony to open the story of the altar. But he underestimated the undead soldier and overestimated himself. His own attack power is only a pitiful 300 points, and with weapons, he can barely break the defense. The undead soldiers were also die hard, and upon hearing the order, they bowed their heads and knelt down. Hey, it's really hard to kill. After a few minutes of tossing, the undead soldier died. John Thompson let out a long breath and laughed. I want to curse this unknown new force, curse all members of his territory to have their attributes drop, and curse him to reduce resource production. Ding. Curse target is not clear, please choose again. The curse failed, and John Thompson was slightly surprised. I quickly reacted again, isn't the word, unknown force, the answer? John Thompson frowned. Wouldn't that make it impossible to curse? Unwilling to do so, he clicked on the leaderboard and looked at the first position with extreme jealousy. Suddenly there was a flash of light. This goal is not clear, so wouldn't it be enough to give it a clear instruction? So tentatively said, I want to curse the unknown force that is number 1 in the new force rankings. Ding. The curse is successful. The attributes of all members of the unknown power territory that ranks first in the new power rankings will be reduced by 80%, the resource output will be minus 80%, and the cooldown of the undead curse skill will be 7 days. Really? Hearing the beep, John Thompson was ecstatic. Ha ha ha, 80% reduction in production, more than I expected. In 10 days, I'll see how you develop, just wait and hurry, ha ha ha. 5. Fight with me, I will use my skills on you later to make you fall out of the top 10. 9. John Thompson's expression gradually became frantic. Available in the next second. Oni shot. A roar sounded in Mizusawa Forest. On a plain in the Donglan continent, a new force called the Bangzi Heavenly Dynasty was established here 7 days ago. Park Bucheng is one of several A-level lords who have awakened this time. His mark of the lord talent is the clown mask. Clown mask. After wearing the mask, you can use the clown's abilities. Effect 1. The Clown's Comedy, Territory Resource Production plus 60%, Faction Member Recovery Speed plus 60%. Effect 2. The Tragedy of the Clown, when the mask is worn for 7 consecutive days, all attributes of the Lord are permanently minus 1%. Effect 3. The Clown's Prank, draw playing cards, curse the designated object, the curse effect is the number of playing cards, if the curse fails, the user will be punished. Park Boo-chang had been wearing a clown mask for 6 consecutive days, enjoying the bonus brought by his talent, and his territory had also developed rapidly. Yesterday, he was contacted by the Awakened, who is also in the country of Bangzi, and said that he was going to do a big thing today. He agreed without hesitation. Ding! You received a communication request from the Lord of the Bangzi Empire, are you connected? When Park Boo-chang heard the beep, he knew he was about to start. Select on. A very wretched face appeared on the screen. This person is also an A-level Lord Seal Awakener, whose name is Qian Bugo. The word, not dirty, was chosen by his parents to look up the dictionary of Long Kingdom, which means that he is beautiful and does not get dirty. But his parents didn't know that once the surname was added, the meaning changed. A voice came from Qian Bugo's side. Brother Park, are you ready? Well, ready. Park Boo-chang used his talent, and a funny and ugly mask appeared on his face. Qian Bugo nodded, also used his talent, and a gold coin appeared in his hand. His Lord Seal talent is crying and laughing gold coins. Each use has a 50% chance of both good and bad effects. Good for blessing, bad for curse, the effect is fixed at 60%. There are 3 judgment opportunities before use. For example, if the result that appears for the first time is not the result you want, you can directly cancel the respin of the gold coins. Can be used once a week. He used it on himself the week before, and now he intends to use it on the top of the power rankings. For nothing else, just want to drag down the list and give others in their country more opportunities. Qian Bugo also threw gold coins when he saw Park Boo-chang using the clown mask. The gold coin spun, and after a few breaths, an upward smiling face appeared. Aussie, bad luck, do it again. Money is not dirty to choose again. The gold coin spun again with a smiling face facing upwards. Qian Bugo's face sank when he saw the result. Ha ha ha, it seems that Brother Qian, your talent is not obedient, so I should come first. Park Boo-chang laughed and used his talent confidently. He didn't believe that cursing a force would still fail. And he is much smarter than John Thompson, and he directly points out the first power. Draw poker cards and curse the unknown force that is number 1 in the new force rankings. The voice fell, and a deck of playing cards appeared in front of him. Park Boo-chang drew a card, 9 of spades. 9 o'clock, ha ha ha, overjoyed, let's see how this list develops this time. 9 points, the curse effect is 90%, second only to 10 points. Ding, the curse effect is activated, causing 90% of the curse effect to the unknown force ranked number 1 in the new force ranking, under judgment. Park Boo-chang looked at the prompt panel with a wide-eyed smile. But the next second, his eyes froze for a moment. Ding, the judgment fails, the opponent is immune to all curses. Ding, if the curse fails, the user will be punished, all resource production will be minus 90%, and all talent effects will be invalid for 7 days. Boom, there seemed to be a thunderbolt exploded directly in Park Boo-chang's mind, and his brain was buzzing instantly. 90% reduction in resource production. 790%. How am I going to develop? I'm gone. How to do? There are thousands of thoughts in Park Boo-chang's mind, and suddenly he thinks, isn't Qian Bugo's talent a blessing? As long as he blesses me, there is still salvation. Thinking of this, Park Boo-chang came back to his senses immediately. Just as he was about to speak, he suddenly heard Qian Bugo's voice. Ha ha ha, it's done, Brother Park, I'm turning out the curse effect. The gold coin in front of Qian Bugo had a crying face facing up at this time. Park Boo-chang's eyes widened, his heart thumped, as if something was broken. Curse, how is it a curse? Wasn't the previous 2 blessings? What's the use of you curse? People ignore all curses. What should I do now? Can't be cursed, have a negative birth. Soon, Park Boo-chang heard a whisper from Qian Bugo's side. What happened? The curse failed. Park Boo-chang couldn't help scolding in his heart. Qian Bugo, you were born to be incompatible with Lao Su, you are going to die. Awakens from other countries have also targeted Su Ming's forces to some extent. But the final result is all failure. This also led to the constant sound of prompts in Su Ming's ears, and the screen began to refresh on the panel. Ding! The Long Night Empire uses a curse on your lord. The attributes of all members of your territory will be reduced by 80%, and resource production will be minus 80%. Ding! Destiny talent is activated, the curse is invalid. Ding! Bangzi Tianchao used a curse on your power, Lord, the curse failed. Ding! The Bangzi Empire used a curse on the Lord, your power, and the curse failed. What the hell? Why so many curse prompts? Have I stabbed the curse nest? Su Ming was stunned. Of course, he also knows that these curses from other forces are mostly because of the rankings. But isn't this the fact that the name of the force has been hidden? Why is it still cursed? Could it be that this is the way the world stipulates that there should be battles between lords? Otherwise, there is no way to explain the fact that a hidden force will still be cursed. Forget it, why do you think so much? Just write down all these forces. Maybe I will awaken a curse skill in the future. I will return them one by one at that time. Su Ming shook his head, then returned to the Lord's mansion. In the forest of Gore, Isacot Sophie got up early and planned to exercise in the morning. But at this moment, a guard suddenly came to report that they saw a group of people passing by over the forest. Hearing this news, Sophie immediately thought of the new forces on Shuiyu Island that she had explored before. Is it someone there? How many people? What strength? Back to General, it's too far away to see clearly, but there are a total of 11 feather eagles, and each has a figure on it, so it's impossible to judge the strength. Where did you go? To the northeast. Sophie thought for a while. To the northeast, I remember there was Moon Valley. Well, I see. Years. General, these human races pass by our territory without saying hello to us. Are we going to stop this group of them? It's not urgent, I have to ask the Queen for instructions, and then make a decision. You should step back first, and pay more attention to this kind of information in the past 2 days. Yes, the guards stepped back. Sophie also packed up and immediately went to the Tree Palace, planning to meet the Queen. Since someone from the Shuiyu Island force that was observed before has come out, it means that they are likely to have the idea of expanding outward. But what is outside Shuiyu Island? Isn't it the Great Forest of Gear? So this matter may seem small, but in Sophie's view it is serious and needs to be treated with caution. Sophie didn't know the purpose of Huang San and his party, so it was normal to think so. But for the sake of safety, it was impossible for Huang San to explain to her, so a misunderstanding between the two forces arose. Sophie hurried all the way to the Tree Palace, waiting for someone to go in and report. But soon, the person who went in to report looked flustered, and ran out in a hurry. It's not good, it's not good. General, the big thing is bad, her Lady Queen is gone. What? Sophie was startled and suddenly felt bad. Directly vacated and flew towards Tia's bedroom. Then I saw the 2 elves who were serving Tia lying on the bed unconscious. Sophie frowned, walked out of the bedroom, and without hesitation took out a conch and blew it. Duo. The sound of the conch seemed to have magic power, penetrating the Tree Palace and spreading to the entire Gore forest. Elsewhere in the forest, there are many specially made tree cages with a colored membrane on the outside and spar bells inside the cages. Normally, these bells don't ring. Only when some special sound comes, it will be loud and silent. Now, the bells are ringing and emitting a dazzling light. All the elves were startled and went out early to check the situation. As for those elf elders, they hurriedly started teleporting and gathered towards the Tree Palace in the center of the Gear Forest. A few minutes later, the 12 elf elders and the 4 generals all gathered outside the main hall of the Tree Palace. Seeing that the high-level officials were almost here, the elf asked. General Isacot, why did you come to us? Sophie said with a heavy expression. Wait for the old priest to come. Waiting for the old priest. When the other elves heard this, they all showed expressions of horror. The old priest said 10 years ago that she could not be disturbed until the critical moment of the survival of the race. Have things gotten so serious? So what happened? The elves began to panic in their hearts, but Sophie didn't say anything, and they couldn't do anything about it. And to their surprise, they haven't seen the queen yet. Although he did not enter the main hall, the queen should preside over the movement here. General Isacott, what about her lady queen? An elder asked suddenly. Sophie glanced at the elder and said nothing. Seeing that Sophie didn't answer, the other elves roughly guessed something. Suddenly there was a commotion. At this moment, a pale-haired elf appeared from a teleportation circle. Old priest, old priest. Seeing the visitor, the other elves saluted. The visitor was the old priest of the elf tribe, Hemeld Fra, who was also a white elf and the former teacher of the current high priest of the white elf tribe. Fra went to Sophie and said, I already know the matter. Please explain it to the other elders. Yes, priest. Sophie saluted back. She knew that the old priest had the ability to probe the past and the future, so she was not surprised. And then this is what happened this morning. What? Her lady queen is missing. How so? Could it be that other powerhouses came to rob her lady queen? The elders speculated one after another, and the generals were all looking at Sophie. Fra looked at Sophie and said, Is there anything else you haven't said? Let's clarify what happened before. Sophie explained in detail what she had previously observed about the new forces on Shueyu Island and then reported to Tia. Shueyu Island. There are new forces in that place. The Gore Forest is so big that sometimes it is necessary to use a teleportation circle to travel. Therefore, many elves have only heard of Shueyu Island, but have never been there. Because in their eyes, there is just a barren island. And the location is conspicuous, not suitable for the black elves to live in seclusion. Unexpectedly, 20 years later, new forces have appeared there, and they are not aware of it. Shaman, I guess, her lady queen's disappearance should be related to Shueyu Island. Sophie didn't dare to say what Tia had joked before, like going to Shueyu Island to play, for fear of affecting her prestige. So now hint to Fra from the side. Fra has been staring at Sophie, and only turned her head after seeing her hint. Cough. Fra coughed. The noisy voice below disappeared instantly. The 12 elders and the 4 generals kept silent at the same time, waiting for the priest to speak. Don't panic about Tia's affairs. My old man has already calculated it for her. Although she is in a bit of disaster, she is not in danger. This matter is indeed related to the new force, but the spirit-binding formation on the periphery of Shueyu Island, the old man has nothing to do with it. So, if you want to find Tia, you have to plan carefully. Sophie took the lead to respond. Please also ask the priest to give instructions. Fra took out a transparent crystal ball and muttered words. Soon, a burst of magic elements gathered towards the crystal ball. A picture appeared in the crystal ball. It was 11 feathered eagles flying in the air, and there were still figures on the feathered eagles. This is a group of people who passed by over the forest just now. If not mistaken, they are going to the new force in Mochizuki Valley. For a while, the 4 generals will be responsible for intercepting them when they return to the voyage, but remember, do not use swords rashly. If the other party threatens with Tia, let them leave. After that, you will go to the Moon Valley and surround the Moon Valley, and you should also not act rashly. This is about Tia's safety, do you understand? Clear. The 4 generals responded in unison. Fra nodded and looked at the elders. Other elders will go to recruit soldiers now. Remember that only elves above level 20 can be recruited, the more the better. Follow the priest's instructions. The 12 elders bowed their heads at the same time. Sophie, you go to open the arsenal and prepare siege weapons, which will be useful when negotiating. By the way, prepare some Tia's clothes and household utensils. Yes, Sophie subconsciously agreed, but when she heard Frau's words, she was stunned and did not respond for a while. Florida looked at Sophie's appearance and smiled. You can do as you do, the negotiations will not go so smoothly, and Tia may have to stay in that force for a few days. Good, good. Although Sophie was still puzzled, she still took the lead. Because this person in front of him is a former elf clan high priest, who has a very high prestige in the entire elf clan. Moreover, without her support decades ago, the Black Elves would not have been able to break away so easily, and they would not have lived and developed at ease in the Gore Forest. Originally, it was a major event related to the survival of the elves, but Frau didn't seem to be worried at all. After all the elves had receded, a smile appeared on Frau's face. Tia, you are really the lucky star of the elves. This time we have the hope of returning to the Ninefold Island. It may cost you a sacrifice. But compared with the future of the elves, these sacrifices are all worth it. Even if you go with your sister, that's acceptable. Hee, the second maid and the first husband, the Lord is also very lucky. After finishing speaking, the crystal ball in Frau's hand emitted a beam of light to wrap her, and then Frau disappeared. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.